You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Plus years ago, we'll get to our ads. We'll get to our ads. What is going on, everyone? We are live for our Married to Medicine recap. It's only a two-part reunion for Married to Medicine. I almost forgot because I remember OMFG Reality TV saying that, I think a couple weeks ago or maybe last week, that it was only a two-part reunion. And I was like, oh yeah, great for me. And I have to say this. We might have to start normalizing two-part reunions because I have to give the credit to production. Oh, wait, first of all, can you guys hear me, see me? Look, can y'all hear me, see me? Hello? Because I feel like the way that they did it was very organized. I know some people might felt like it felt a little rushed, but for me, it felt like in order. I was like, okay, it worked. Okay, for me, it worked. We covered a lot. I don't think we're going to get a Dr. Jackie package, and we don't need one. I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie conjured up this beef so that she would have some sort of relevancy at this reunion. I'm just having that thought at this very minute because I didn't think that because I was like, Dr. Jackie's a snake, so I'm not surprised that I'm not surprised that she would. I felt for Simone. I don't believe that it was fake. I feel like Simone really feels betrayed by Dr. Jackie, and we will unpack all of that. She feels really betrayed. But I will say this. Hey, everyone. Shout out to everyone that's watching from around the country and around the world. We appreciate you being here for our Married to Medicine recap for Season 12's Reunion Part 1. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Shout out to our subscribers. We appreciate you. If you're a new subscriber, be sure to let yourself be known. Join the community. Join the conversation. Pageant Mommy says 2 parts is perfect. I felt like the way that they did this was great. Okay. Carlisa says she loves, this is not red. This is a different color, y'all. This is probably perfect for the reunion right now, but no, this is not red. This is like you guys are better with the colors. It's like a dark, deep orange. Okay. Look, but maybe depending on your television and how it's set up, it might look a little different. All right. Where do I even begin when it comes to Married to Medicine? I don't know. Let me just open up my notes and then I'll start there because I felt like it was a good part 1 because I felt like we covered a whole lot. I have a lot of thoughts. Burnt orange. Yes, Miss Parker. That's what it looks like. Burnt orange. Okay. Burnt orange. Judy says reads red down here on Twitch. Really? Really? It's not though. I can tell you right now it's not. Look, I'll bring it a little closer. It's not. See, it's beautiful. It is. It does look good on me, though. I'm going to give myself a shout out to Banana. Banana, let us know if you want to sponsor. All right. Let's focus. There's a comment here that I just wanted to highlight. Where is it? Katia says, I felt so bad for Simone. Really broke my heart. It's so heartbreaking when you don't get support from your friend of 30 plus years. But we've been talking about this for a very long time. We've been talking about how that friendship hasn't been real for a while, ever since their last fallout. And I believe that the common denominator is Dr. Heavenly is the cancer in that friendship. But at the end of the day, Dr. Jackie has allowed Dr. Heavenly to be that cancer in the friendship. And I don't understand why. I want to understand why. Okay, Patricia says no shade of orange in my camera. I don't know. But I'm telling you in person, it's like a burnt orange. How do we get so sidetracked? Can y'all focus? Because when y'all sidetrack me, then I'm side to the track. Okay. All right, focus, y'all. I'm going, hey, Miss Brooklyn Diamonds in the building. Nacho says, no, Jackie is the cancer. Look, I will say this. Dr. Jackie is the cancer, but I believe that Dr. Heavenly is the root. I believe the cancer has spread to Dr. Jackie. You know what I mean? I believe that. But I do not feel sorry for Dr. Jackie. I don't feel like Dr. Jackie's innocent because Dr. Jackie is supposed to be the sensible one. Isn't she the one that's supposed to calm everyone down? She's supposed to be that person. So you're not telling me that Dr. Heavenly has psychologically manipulated Dr. Jackie. I honestly believe Dr. Heavenly has something on Dr. Jackie. Now I'm almost 100% convinced. And it's not because she wants to be 100% friend to Dr. Heavenly. If you want to be a friend to both of them, this is not the way to do it. Because it doesn't feel like you're trying to be a friend to both of them. It feels like you're being a friend to Dr. Heavenly. And maybe because that's really your friend. Maybe you and Dr. Simone only fake this for Married to Medicine, but that hasn't been your friend since the last fallout. It has not been the same. They can get together and do those fake lunches all they want for the camera. When the camera's not rolling, they're not doing those fake lunches. And watch, now that I've said that, because I know they watch, based on Humping on the Fence. Y'all know y'all thought of me. Based off of that, y'all watching, and I don't want to see all of a sudden randomly while y'all not filming, look, me and Dr. Jack and me and Dr. Simone are together having lunch like you guys like. Even though I do believe that what's made Married to Medicine so successful is the fact that there are real relationships and friendships within this group. However, the real relationship and friendship really had a real falling out between Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. Okay? So I don't believe that they've been the same ever since, and I can't blame her. Dr. Heavenly is the cancer of this group, but she's also the cancer of that friendship. And I believe Dr. Jackie probably prefers being friends with Dr. Heavenly for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I think she prefers being friends with her. And maybe because we have to remember the history between Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie. They were friends, but they also were business partners. And when you are in business with people, the same way if you had a roommate, I remember my college roommate, we're friends now, but we are not close to the friends we were when we were in high school. So living with someone, delivering someone's babies, being in business with someone. But yeah, I believe that's probably that was also part of maybe some of their issues earlier on. And Dr. Heavenly came on in and was just like, ha. Public Good Project says Heavenly is fun for her. And maybe she is a good friend outside of this show. I don't know, but I feel like Dr. Heavenly must have something on her. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But it's clear when Dr. Jackie says that she's trying to be a friend to both of them. No, you're not. Because clearly we, the audience, see that you're only being a friend to Dr. Heavenly. You're always placating Dr. Heavenly. You're always babying Dr. Heavenly. Like Dr. Heavenly is not a 50-something-year-old woman. She's not the little girl in the room with no windows. She's not that girl. And I see that with Dr. Mimi too. They all do this to Dr. Heavenly. They infantize her. And even Dr. Damon Daddy. So to the point where she's going, hey Daddy, you can't make Buddy come home, Daddy. They all do this to her. And I'm not saying, look, go check the tape. I used to love Dr. Heavenly on this show. But I've seen some behavior that it makes me go, this woman is playing it up for television. She will do anything to create television, even if it means throw friends under the bus. The only person she hasn't thrown under the bus, though, is No, she's even thrown Dr. Jackie under the bus this season. I wonder if they're going to talk about that. They probably won't talk about that. How she threw Dr. Jackie under the bus when it comes to Toya. Big Miss Mother says, can we all call her by her first name, Elaine? No, I like Heavenly because we know it's the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite. All right. Damn, the 1,200 of y'all in here already? Hey, y'all. Damn, y'all ready for part 1 of the Married to Medicine recap? I know that's right. I'm ready too. I had a lot of meetings. I went to my doctor. Look, everything's good. Everything's good. Blood pressure was good. You remember Dr. Frida was here the other day, and I was talking to you about your blood work, and I told you that at a certain body weight, my blood pressure, I haven't seen my blood pressure be this good in such a long time. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You also saw, and this reminded me what we said during that, you could have money, you could have fame, you could have even the love of your life, but if you don't have your health, you have nothing. You saw the OnlyFans CEO passed away. May he rest in peace. He passed away after a long battle with cancer. Billionaire. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, what do you have? If you've been waiting to go to get your physical or get your blood work, this is the perfect live to talk about this stuff because we're talking about health. Just saying. Reminder. But that's why I'm live now. Okay. We normally do our Married to Medicine live at 3 because Potomac is gone off the air. I would have done it earlier. But nope. Went to the doctor. Got my nails did. Look, got my nails did. And my toes did. Yes. What am I telling y'all about my day? And then I had a meeting with my accountant because it's tax season. Okay. And now here I am. I watched this Married to Medicine reunion multiple times, though, because there were certain parts that I was just confused. I was like, what is going on? I'm not understanding some of these people. And here's the thing. I'm not team anyone in regards to this because I'm team Dr. Simone when it comes to Dr. Jackie of it all. I am team Simone on this. However, when it comes to some of the other issues, I see wrong in all of them. I see wrong in Toya. I see wrong in Dr. Mimi, but I can see right in both of them too. Sidebar. First of all, see, I jumped right on in. We'll get back to the Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone of it all in a minute. Just getting into it, because we talked about the reunion fashion, so we love to see the reunion fashions in person and in movement. Dr. Simone, I'm glad we got to see Dr. Simone, not Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone looked worse. I'm sorry, Dr. Simone. When you were sitting, I was looking at the split. I could see the underline. I was like, oh, damn, this is a mess. The hair it looked better in the picture. It didn't look good in person. And that her makeup was running because she really is emotional about what's going on between her and Dr. Jackie. I didn't love Brandy's makeup. Because I've seen her makeup recently when she was doing the promo trail, and it looked so much better then. This makeup did not highlight her well. Angel looked a lot better. I will say that. The picture did not do her justice, and she's a beautiful woman. Toya looked really good. I still feel like I wanted to see something on Toya's neck. Some sort of piece of jewelry, something. Maybe even like some rubies or something. It was just missing a little something for me. But hair, makeup, face, beat. Near 50, beat, okay? Oh, speaking of hair, Quad. That AI photo that they posted looked far better. And maybe she knows somebody, whoever over there at Bravo, because they posted that beautiful AI photo of her. But the hair in person did not look cute. Sorry. Why was Quad sitting next to Andy? I was like, okay. And then I looked back at her season. I was like, it doesn't make sense. You know who should have been sitting next to Andy? Toya. And Dr. Heavenly. Quad was just there. I was like, why is Quad? And Quad did not want King to be there. Very much like she didn't want Dr. Gregory to be there, and she got her way. No, you should allow King to be there to tell his side. You guys are no longer together. Let him be there so he could tell his side. Y'all probably would have had a 3-part reunion if you did. Why wouldn't you allow him to be there? But based off of the seating, look, half the time they've had Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie sitting next to Andy, and it didn't make sense. But for them to make the change this year, it was interesting. I was like, this doesn't make sense. But maybe they wanted Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie to sit across from each other because of their issues. But Quad and Toya didn't have any issues. It didn't make sense to me. They should have put Heavenly there. I also don't understand why Heavenly was a friend of the season. I know all of you have speculation. Oh, it's because she only filmed blah, blah, blah. She only filmed 4 weeks out of the 12 weeks. However, you wouldn't have never known. You would have never known. She was a part of every single episode. She was out there like a full-time cast member. She didn't come out there like the newbies did. It didn't make sense to me. A lot of you said, oh, it's because she was running for political office, the legality. No, because if it had anything to do with the legality of her running for public office, she wouldn't have been a part of the season at all. But she was still a part of the season, and that was part of her storyline. I thought it was interesting. But anyway, exactly. Cherry says Heavenly was on every episode, like a full-time cast member. Starting Trouble, like a full-time cast member. It didn't feel this season at all that Heavenly was a friend. At all. And honestly, based off of how the season and part 1 went of the reunion, Heavenly should have been sitting next to Andy. Nacho Twin says, like a cancer. Oh, Lord. She was everywhere and everything. Lord. Way of Keith says, to be fair, both vacations last 3 episodes each. They didn't film much. They didn't film much in general, in my opinion. No, they filmed for 12 weeks, though. It based on what we saw, it didn't feel like a lot. But did they scrap what the first how many weeks? They must have, or a weird editing job. There were some weird episodes. Exactly. RC says, I think the contracts are more evasive for full-timers. They are. You have to have a storyline to be considered full-time. But again, maybe because she only filmed for 4 weeks, we're like, we're not going to pay you as a full-timer, so you'll technically be a friend because you only filmed for 4 weeks. Maybe that's the way that they justified it, but you could not tell based off of the season. Miss Brooklyn Diamond says, hellishly wanted to be a friend, not to talk about her son. And based off of what happened during reunion, we'll talk about that. I was like, so there were, for me, that was clear. That's the reason why she took part-time this season. I don't think it had anything to do with her campaign. But, okay. SP says, Kim, Heavenly is a snake and lies too much. She is a snake. I'm not going to deny that at all. Okay. Oh, hold on. Kayla Nicole says, beautiful photo, Kayla. Kayla says, Steve is a giving peach holder. I'm not sorry for saying that because he is a whole clown. Makes sense. That's why he was a D-list NFL player. Was he? I know nothing about the football. Was he a D-list football player? Look, I might not be a big footballer, but I do know some football players that are A-list, and I never knew his name. Can y'all tell me? Anyway. All right. I have my thoughts on Steve, and I will share them when we get to that part. Let me start at the top, okay? So we see everyone gathering in, getting ready for the reunion. Simone and Jackie are not sharing a room. Apparently, I guess they've always really shared a room when they get dressed for the reunion. They flash back to what Dr. Jackie said on Watch What Happens Live, where she really did not take a stance or defended Dr. Simone. And even Andy, I feel like Andy defended Dr. Simone more than her best friend of 30 years. Like, you delivered my baby. So Simone says that she doesn't need those types of friends that want to remain neutral. I have to agree with her with that. I do have to agree with her. Heavenly brings up Simone tweeting and talking about Dr. Jackie on social media and saying that she chose the devil, meaning Heavenly. Andy tries to explain to Jackie why Simone might feel away. She said, I think it's about what you didn't say. Why does Dr. Jackie has so much sense in every other, when it comes to everyone else, but she can't see where Dr. Simone is coming from? Yet I don't understand why she doesn't get it at all. So I think it's what you didn't say. So Simone tells Andy, I don't think we have a friendship. Did y'all catch that part? I had to rewind that part. I was like, wait a minute. Are you confirming what Dr. Heavenly has said about y'all friendship for the longest? She says, I don't think we have a friendship. And she's wiping away tears. Like, she is very emotional about the Dr. Jackie of it all. So I really believe Dr. Simone is truly affected. And I think based on what I've been saying about their friendship, that I feel like the friendship has not been the same in a very long time. I think Simone is really starting to believe that herself and realizing that even if they've got along to get along, I feel like she really feels like this woman is not my friend. Pageant Mommy says maybe their friendship has run its course, which happens. It happens. I've had that happen to me. Just because you've been friends with someone for 10, 15, 20, 30 years doesn't mean that you're going to be friends with them for the rest of your life. A lot of times we are holding on to these friendships beyond their expiration date. And that's why things end up blowing up to this particular point. Oh, Foxy got a new photo. Foxy says, I fell for Dr. Simone. Me too. Lexi says he was definitely a D-list player. Really? What team did he play for? All right. Wait. E-Bone says, Eugene reminds me of the man Robin Givens ended up with on Waiting to Excel. What's that actor's name? Because he's in other things too. I was just looking at a GIF of him the other day. Yesterday, literally. All right. Big Miss Muffin says, Elaine and Jackie equal trash. I don't know. Authentically, Lola says, Jackie is not her friend. She isn't. No, wait. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Nope, not today. Oh, nope, not today says, Dr. Simone is friends with Toya. That's why Dr. Jackie is sticking with Dr. Heavenly. But Toya and Dr. Jackie, they just started having issues this season. They've never really been like close, but I don't see why that would affect their friendship. And I don't feel like Dr. Simone would defend Toya if the tables were reversed. Because I've seen some people say that too. Dr. Simone stays quiet when there's issues between Toya and Dr. Jackie. It's never been a situation where Dr. Simone had to defend Toya. Toya can defend herself. Hold on. Missy says he played for a few, I believe, the Browns, the Lions, and the Cardinals. Look, nope, don't know. Okay, how do you even say this? La Tulipe says Dr. Eugene is a ride or die husband, exactly what he's supposed to be. We're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about it. Oh, Denise says Toya isn't a snake or toxic like Heavenly. Well, one of the things that I've been saying throughout the season, a lot of Toya and Heavenly's behavior is very similar, even with their husbands and how their husbands navigate their wives. They're probably more similar than they're not. Just saying. That's my opinion. Okay. Pageant Mommy says that she believes that Simone is friends with Toya out of an alliance because they never used to be as close as they are now, but they actually spend time with each other off camera. Q Talk says Toya is the villain that y'all think Heavenly is. Look, so are you saying Q Talks Heavenly on your burner? Are you saying that you don't think that you think Heavenly's innocent? I just need you to clarify that for me. But okay, let me move on. So we start the reunion. Andy goes around the room and he does introductions and things like that. Jackie says that Toya was a great leader for the Med Gala. She had a great leader for the Med Gala. So she wants to take some sort of ownership of the Met Gala. But they did work on the Met Gala together. But they really put all of this on Toya more than anything. And literally, Heavenly said the reason why they did that, they wanted to see her fail. They wanted her to see if she could do it on her own. They weren't trying to help her do the Met Gala. They ended up saying that she did end up doing a good job. Even Heavenly said that she ended up doing a good job. I like to say, based off of our season finale recap, I think it turned out great, but successful, I don't think it was successful because based off the totals of last year versus this year, it didn't turn out the same amount of success. But I think it looked beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, I have to say, Married to Medicine, if you go over the years when it comes to their reunion sets, they've had some really good reunion sets. I like this reunion set. It was like the Met Gala stairs that they did with the Met Gala. So they did mind you, the actual Met Gala doesn't even have the same ambiance or grandeur. But yeah, fine. But I have to say, I like the reunion set. I thought the reunion set looked really good. Your agent Keela says that Steve is a regional director for Nike football camps. Kids sports is huge moneymaker from a mom of 5 boys. Oh, okay, mom of 5 boys. I bet it is. And he's a regional director. He seems to do very well for himself. Look. All right. You're right, Arain. Arain says Robin Givens was never in the movie Waiting to Exhale, released in 1995. I think she's talking about Leela Rashawn. Right? That's who she's thinking about, Leela Rashawn. At least that's what I'm thinking about. That's who I'm thinking about. Right? That the guy with the little fro. I remember. I think that you're talking about Leela Rashawn. We forget. Thank you guys so much already for 500 likes. We have nearly 2,000 people in the building. If you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Today is brought to you by our friends over at Wix. When I first started Kempire Radio 15 plus years ago, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. 15 years later, now artificial intelligence has taken over and it's making your website building so easy. I'm excited to partner with Wix for today's live because Wix was the very first website that I ever used. And even back then, they made it easy. So you can imagine 15 years ago versus 2026, Wix is making it even easier with AI. So there are a couple of really cool things that you can do with Wix. With the hybrid website editor that offers the speed of AI, precision of drag and drop and guidance of a dedicated AI agent, aka the new way to create websites. And you don't have to pay anyone to do this. You could do this yourself. Create in whatever way feels most natural to you with a platform that lets you flow freely between AI and manual controls. Because some people just let AI do whatever they want, and that is not what you want. You want to be able to do and create something that's unique to you. As I said to you before, you can launch a pro-grade website that's quality, but make it very easy for you to create. There are all kinds of really cool capabilities that they provide. Wix Harmony is packed with some of the coolest, most useful AI features and agents, built specifically for small businesses. Generate images, product descriptions, blogs, and more. Automate email marketing, SEO tasks, inventory management, and more. You even get an AI agent named Aria who can help you build your website or take care of business. Wix has been on top of AI for years, so naturally, they're the ones introducing the new way to create websites. Try Wix Harmony for free at wix.com/harmony. That's wix.com/harmony. More details on that will be available in the description. And we're back. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news. And of course, we talk about everything, including Married to Medicine. We're recapping part 1 of the Married to Medicine season 12 reunion. Keep on liking the video, guys. We're over. Wait, how many of you are here? We got nearly 2,000 of you here. Be sure to check out the description in regards to our sponsors. All right, let me get back into this, and then I'll get to some of your super chats. So at the beginning, Andy is talking about Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie not sharing a room. And Simone says that she needed Jackie, but she failed to deliver, and she wanted the room to herself. And you can see her get emotional then. There's a few moments when talking about what's going on between her and Dr. Jackie, you see her try to wipe away tears. I believe Dr. Simone is truly hurt by the situation, and I don't blame her. Imagine you having a friend of 30 plus years betray you multiple times over the years when it comes to their friendship. Just saying. All right, so at the top of the reunion, we have Toya's package. Andy asked Toya if she was still in the house. Do you think that was like a legitimate question for Andy to ask? And then I thought to myself, I was like, I guess he was trying to be funny and the joke didn't land. Because she has moved quite a lot, but I didn't expect her to come to the reunion talking about she's moving out. But then I had to think back about over the years where we all were shocked. Wait, you're moving? Didn't you just say this was your dream home? So it didn't land. It didn't land for me, his joke. And she was just like, he was like, you've moved a lot. And she was like, I bought every home. Okay, Toya. She has, but she has moved a lot. Okay. I think he was trying to make a joke and it didn't land. Okay. Heavenly chimes in regards to what she thinks. Will Toya stay in this home? And she says, I think she'll sell this one and make a profit and move into a condo by herself. And they were like, by herself? She's like, wait, did I say that out loud? Heavenly is very strategic. Heavenly knew exactly what she was saying. Please understand that. I think a lot of people think that Heavenly is just wild at the mouth. And she's very strategic. She's trying to make television. And she said that intentionally. She was like, no, I think she'll sell it, make a profit, and her and Eugene will move into a house. Honestly, I agree with Heavenly. I could see eventually, but that's me. I'm not wishing that on them, but I'm just saying, I could see it. Okay. Simone says that Toya keeps her, when asked about when they threw the party and Simone had her thoughts about Toya and Toya's day off kind of thing. She's like, this is her life. So she makes a joke and she's like, Toya keeps her house up and no one's ever going to say to her that this home needs pressure washing. And they flash back to Mariah. This is sad that you guys have to cite Mariah to have a funny historical moment when it comes to Married to Medicine, because honestly, a lot of the most quotable moments are from Mariah and Quad. Most quotable moments. Okay, unless they were saying something in Heavenly. I'll give Heavenly that as well. But the rest of y'all, except Dr. Contessa. Dr. Contessa this season, loved you. Wait, loved you. Y'all won't remember that after this season, but I will remember it because I was like, she's hilarious. I can't. It was a mess. She said pressure wash. No one's going to say Toya has to pressure wash her home. And they flash back. Of course, that seems to be the thing that that made Heavenly seemed a little bit pulled back during this reunion. And I know, pulled back for her. She was definitely clocked in. She was the most person, one of the most people speaking during the reunion. But she was definitely pulled back in comparison to what she normally would. And probably because she's running for office. Okay. Jean says Mariah was the show. This Alex says Contessa ate this season up. She was a mess. Oh, you're right, Angela. Angela said, what about Square Up, ho? You're right. That was last season. I'm glad we didn't get to see too much of that of Contessa this season. Contessa had a very laid back season for the most part. All right. So Toya says that in regards to the relationships, people talking about her relationship and things like that. And she was just like, you haven't seen cheating in my relationship. This part stood out to me, and I want to hear what you guys think. She says, and my husband isn't saying that he doesn't trust me around our son. Who was she talking to? Because I know people are going to assume that she was talking about Heavenly and what's going on with her son. But did you guys see when the camera panned to Dr. Mimi? And Dr. Mimi seemed a little bit like shocked by the statement. So I wasn't sure. I'm like, wait, did something happen during the season that we didn't see? Because remember, and I'm just going to say this. Remember what Dr. Mimi said when they were in Jamaica about she wants her husband to say that she's doing a good job as a mom? And I was like, wait, did Steve say something? Or did she admit during that conversation he said something? Because I'm starting to think, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think she was talking about Heavenly. Was she talking about Mimi? And then I was like, wait a minute, Toya. Wind that back, because that was a very vulnerable moment that she opened up while in Jamaica. I was like, let's not just go back and watch that particular moment, because Mimi's face looked like it almost went white, her face. I was just like, wait, was she referring to Mimi in that moment? I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait, okay, Toya, that might be a little too far. A little too far. Go back and watch that moment. I watched it multiple times. All right. So she mentions that. Toya says that her next door neighbor, so this is when they start going back between her and Heavenly. She said, my next door neighbor told me a bunch of things about your husband. And then Heavenly says, I've heard some things about your husband and things that he was doing at the hospital and why he got fired. Since then, Dr. Eugene was in the comment section of the blogs saying that he's never been fired from any job. I want to say this because I'm going to twerk on a fence. Get the merch, okay? I'm going to twerk on a fence when it comes to this, because two things can be true. I believe that he hasn't been fired from a place. Has he been asked to leave? Has he been asked to resign? Could be, because when you're on certain levels in these different companies and hospitals, because they don't want the press about why is this doctor getting fired. I'm not saying it. The other side of that is that Dr. Heavenly likes to lie. The lie. So I can't always believe what Dr. Heavenly says. So I'm just reporting to you that Dr. Eugene has said that he's never been fired from anywhere. Heavenly has a pattern of lying. But also, when you're at a certain level in a corporation or at a hospital, they will say, you can resign. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but okay. Okay. So she throws that out there. Toya in the moment doesn't say anything, but again, I don't know if she heard it, because you have to remember, this is a reunion. People are screaming back and forth. She maybe didn't hear it. That's why they responded on social media. Okay. Jackie and Toya start getting into it, and Jackie brings up Toya talking about Curtis and their marriage. Jackie, you need to let that go. Because I'm going to ride with Toya on this one. This is why I keep twerking on the fence, y'all. Every time you bring up this whole situation between you and Toya, you know what Watch What Happens Live is. She didn't intentionally talk about Curtis. She was asked a question, and she was like, he has a pattern. He's done this. They flash back and show it. And you blamed her back then, and it's like you still are blaming her for your husband's behavior. I don't understand. I do not understand. You and Toya should not have an issue. You should not be that mad at Toya for, first of all, playing into the games of Watch What Happens Live, but also your husband did it. So she did not say a lie. I will say, though, Dr. Jackie doesn't talk about Toya or her marriage. And, I don't remember. It's 12 years of the show. She could have, and I just don't remember. This season, she didn't. Okay? Look, this season, she didn't. But I need Dr. Jackie to let that go because your husband is the one that should be apologetic because she didn't lie about what he did. Ooh, Miss Brooklyn Diamond says Jackie does not want to admit she's in a marriage in name only. That's the way it is. That's what it's given. That's exactly what it's given. All right, moving on from there. Toya says that she reacted poorly at her party. Here's my issue with Toya still. Is that she has not shown ownership or accountability for how she acted at this party. Her saying that she acted poorly, but then making an excuse for why she acted poorly. No. You've had how many months? 6 months since they stopped filming to assess. You've had even more time to watch it. You reacted to your friends there. You were drunk. Just own. I was drunk, y'all. I shouldn't have reacted the way that I overreacted. I shouldn't have spoke to Eugene the way that I spoke to Eugene. I shouldn't have brought you guys into it. It was all on you. And even no matter what Heavenly said in that moment, you overreacted. You overreacted, and then you guys try to overcorrect for the rest of the season. So she says that she reacted poorly at her party and then that she locked herself in her closet. Quad and Contessa were like the only ones that came to check in on her and things like that. Contessa says as a group of friends, they should have just left after that situation. Honestly, I would have left. Anyone else? I would have left. Mimi was like, I was like one of the first people to go, to leave. And she was like, you were the first person, Toya says this to her, you were the first person asked to leave. Toya. And then Andy tried to defend Toya in that moment, says, you did say that it was cringy. I don't believe Dr. Mimi said at that moment. She said in her confessional that it was cringy. The confessionals are filmed after they filmed. So even if she says it later on, I agree with Dr. Mimi in that regard. It was cringy. I don't know if you've been friends with a couple or friends that constantly are fighting. I've been around stuff like that. It's cringy to watch your friends, even if they don't try to pull you in, just the snarkiness or the constant tension. I'm like, oh God, who wants to be around that? I cringed all the way from my home in New York City watching that. It was cringy. There was no lies. It was cringy. So I will defend Dr. Mimi on that. It was cringy. She was just like, I'm leaving. I don't think this is where I need to be. But this is after Toya basically kicked them out. Not you kicking me out and then calling us, what did she call them? Oh, hating A-B words. Okay. Mimi denies doing anything at that point, and Andy points out that she said that she was cringy. Mimi says that Toya called them hating A-B words. Heavenly discusses, they bring up the fact that Heavenly is always talking about Dr. Eugene's penis size. And Toya says that it's not Dr. Damon Daddy has anything bulging. Why are you looking at his... I don't know. But I will give this to Dr. Heavenly. She was like, my man's from Barbados. What's that mean? What's that mean, Dr. Heavenly? My man's from Barbados. Okay? Okay, Dr. Heavenly. All right. Moving on from there. Jackie says that she made Toya the chair for the Met Gala so that she could see that it wasn't an easy task. And she felt like she did do a good job with the Met Gala. Okay, even Heavenly said it turned out well. I said, but was it successful? Because technically, it really wasn't. It wasn't successful in comparison to the amount of money raised. $5,000. I think they're going to be grateful for any amount of money towards their medical school education. But $5,000 each for medical school, okay. $20,000, I would be like, okay, it's a little something. That'll cover a semester, maybe not even. I don't know. I don't know. Depends. Okay. So Toya brings out the medical jacket that they gave her, and she put their group chat conversations on there. I wish they would have read some of what was on the group chat, because you bringing that to the reunion, cute prop, but at the same time, it didn't land in a way that proved anything. It was just a funny moment. Okay? Miss V. Thomas says Caribbean men swinging. Lonnie says $10,000 is not a success. Yeah. Cherry says that barely covers books. I wish they would talk more about that because I have a feeling next week they're not going to talk about that. I don't feel like that was a success. This is actually one season where I feel like they could have done 3 parts. Anyone else? And just because I feel like, yeah, we've covered a lot, and I have to see how part 2 lands. But I feel like if we don't cover certain things, I'm like, then we probably could have gotten a 3rd part. But I'm okay with a 2-parter because I felt like they covered a lot in part 1. Okay. What? Gene says Anwar is teaching us on TikTok. What you mean? What is he teaching y'all? What is it? Wait, because we were talking about medical school education, then we were talking about the Caribbean men. Which one are you talking about? Look, which one are you talking about? Okay. All right. Everyone said Phaedra did her thing. Let me say thank you, guys. Guys, keep liking the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about Season 12's Married to Medicine Reunion Part 1. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and ratings of the reunion as well. Let me just save this. Okay, hold on. I saved a couple of tweets. Wendell Pierce is the guy we were talking about. Wendell Pierce from Waiting to Excel. Yes, and he was on The Wire. Yes, Wendell Pierce. Okay. All right. Miss Parker, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Miss Parker says, Simone and Toya have come a long way from season 2 reunion. I'll never forget Simone calling Toya raggedy broke A. That was such a turned up reunion. They were like to get physical. Now they're best allies. I feel like they hang out as a couple. I don't know if I really believe it's just an alliance because they really do hang out as a couple. I think, remember, you're talking about season 2. That's 10 years later. Sometimes you do end up becoming friends because this is like the only person that really understands where you're coming from. Mrs. Beeson Bryant, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. She says, Dr. Jackie is and will always be the real unmasked villain. Dr. Heavenly says all the things Jackie feels. Silence speaks volumes. Good for Simone, but it might be set up for relevance of a storyline. Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like Dr. Simone's tears were confirmation for me. Jay Washington, thank you so much for the super chat. Jay Washington says, I wish Simone would check Toya the same way that she wants Jackie to check Heavenly. Plus, I remember what Mariah said in her interview, how dirty Simone is. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know. I don't feel the same in regards to Dr. Simone checking Toya because I feel like she does. Because there isn't a lot that happens between Toya and Dr. Jackie. Tress, thank you so much for the super chat. Tress says, Toya and Dr. Simone remain consistent. Tacky and messy. Did you see the pic they took with King? I did. Then they wonder why Quad won't open up. Here's the thing. Dr. Eugene is friends with King. But I also retweeted that picture and I said, I feel like this is a setup for some sort of storyline for next season. Because it shouldn't be a big deal if you saw Quad's ex at an event and you take a picture with him. That shouldn't be a big deal. But you saw Quad's reaction when they were talking about King at the reunion. Because at the reunion, she's like, oh, you're talking to my ex? You saw her reaction. I was like, here we go. They're setting us up for relevance, for Quad's relevance, because they don't need to. It wouldn't shock me if they are helping Quad have some sort of relevance for next season. Because next season, what is Quad going to talk about? Is she going to be showing us her putting rollers in the wig that she wore at the reunion? What is she going to be talking about? You saw Quad is the actual person that should be running for public office because the way that she was navigating those questions during her segment, I was like, she's telling us a bunch of nothing. She's not giving us anything. And as a tourist, I understand. But as a person that's on reality television about your life, that is lame. That is 100% lame. The most reaction that we got from her is when she was accused of going through IVF as a storyline. I don't think she went through IVF as a storyline. The king of it all might be the storyline. I believe she wants to have a child. But her not giving us an update on whether or not she was like, stay tuned. No, I will not stay tuned. Quad. I will not stay tuned. And I still don't understand why you're sitting next to Andy, because based off of the season and you not wanting to talk about the king of it all says to me, and maybe that's why they put you there. They thought because of what was currently going on with King that, oh no, we need to put her next to Andy. But we'll see how part 2 goes. Thank you, Mrs. Beeson Bryant, again for another super chat. So I'm happy I caught this live. Quad definitely should have been seated in the number 1 chair. That stolen storyline was her karma. Oh, shouldn't have been seated in the number 1 chair. That stolen storyline was her karma. Oh. Okay. Your agent, Keela, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Keela says, Steve played for the Browns. He basically was a practice player his entire career. He played 5 games and had less than 20 yards. Wait a minute. Look, wait a minute. Is what's his name a better player then in comparison? Jazzy's husband? Because he's still in the game, so he could end up playing more than 5 games. And had less than 20 yards, but he does run a big Nike football camp. I love football. # Chiefs. Oh, but what's the big deal about him running the football camp? Because based off his career, it sounds, should he be? I don't know. Shadrika, thank you for the super chat. Shadrika says Simone did not care about this reunion by the looks of it. She came to cuss and cause ruckus. based off her reunion look. But she always does that. I wouldn't be surprised she got that reunion dress the night before or the week of. Didn't get it altered, nothing. Keela, thank you for another super chat. Keela says he was a wide receiver, 1 catch, played for a few teams, lifetime practice squad. Squarebiz, thank you for the super chat. Let me shimmy. Squarebiz says Jackie never forgave Simone for speaking against her regarding the Buffy incident. She became Team Heavenly after that. Simone was a true friend who was able to speak up compared to Jackie. Speak up when wrong, because here's the thing. I don't want a friend defending me when I'm wrong. You were wrong in the Buffy of it all. But Dr. Jackie has that mentality where she could never be wrong, even when she clearly is wrong. You saw what happened when that whole when she was on Heavenly's YouTube, how that all played out, and her scripted apology. She can never be wrong. Way of Keith, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Keith says Toya's wife and Mimi's assistant were both doing too much. Plus, the donations couldn't even cover room and board. They should all be embarrassed. I have to agree with y'all. It was a beautiful thing to be filmed. That's it. But are you guys really doing anything? Maloney Love, thank you for the super chat and for being a member. Let me shimmy. Just need a shimmy for my birthday. Happy belated birthday, Maloney. And happy Aries season to anyone that's celebrating. Thank you. I love an Aries woman. Aries men, I don't know a lot of y'all. And based on what I've seen, you're not too bright. What? Who said that? I like Heavenly right now. Wait, did I say that out loud? I say that now, but I don't know a lot of Aries men. But the ones that I've met, I'm like, are you okay? Brandy, thank you so much for the super chat. Brandy says, I think Dr. Jackie is the epitome of petty because she never forgave Simone for blindly defending her against Buffy. I think over time, Jackie began to enjoy Heavenly's bullying of Simone. I have to agree with you. And you know what? Yeah. In regards to the Buffy incident, I think Dr. Simone took a different stance on that because she's an OBGYN. And she's like, you don't do that. And if she's still holding that grudge from back then, she was never your friend. Shadrika, thank you so much for another super chat. Shadrika says, as a person who left a man from Barbados, that means absolutely nothing. Y'all gotta stop stereotyping these Caribbean men. Tyrese, thank you so much for being a member for 27 months. Thank you. Says, I attended a town hall in my neighborhood this past Saturday, and I ain't gonna lie, Heavenly came across very strong. My top 2 were a bit stronger for me, though. Okay. Tyrese called in the other day and gave us an update in regards to this election, and she changed a lot of our perspectives, not on Heavenly, on the other candidates running in that primary. There are some very strong, qualified individuals. Heavenly just has the loudest voice and the biggest platform. So do your homework, District 13. Do your homework. Paint These Wings. Thank you so much for the super chat. Paint These Wings says, the way Toya talks to Eugene is crazy. I'd never do that to my Taurus man, and I'm an opinionated Aquarius. I have respect for him. Oh yeah, it's Taurus. We would not stand for that. Look, we would not stand for that because we're bulls. We might be even killed for the most of the time, but don't test our patience. There ain't no way And I told you guys, I love an Aries woman, but even my Aries female friends, they know when not to play with me because I'll take a lot, but one of those horns, when you feel a little juke, y'all know. Ariana, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Ariana says, top players become commentators and coach players like him and Jazzy's husband teach the youth. Best reunion episode is in a while, 2 parts forever. Okay, thank you, Ariana, for breaking it down. So that makes more sense why he's coaching, which is great. How much does it pay? Does anyone know? For the Louis Vuitton of it all, how much did he make in his career? Does anyone know? They do well for themselves. Look, I want to see their home next season. I will say this, after part 1 of the reunion, Dr. Mimi held her own. I feel like was she amazing? No, but I feel like she's married to medicine. She's the medicine. She skews down in regards to the age dynamic that TV and advertisers. I think she was solid. I think her and Brandy were really solid during this reunion. And I'm not going to lie. Angel, her response to those of us that had questions about her pursuits of acting and entertainment versus being an RN, I liked her response. She was like, I did that before, and I still enjoy doing that, but I knew my backup I needed in my education. I appreciated her saying that. I really did. It was like the one time. Did y'all know? And we know about code switching, but I was like, wait a minute. This is why I was confused when I saw interviews with Angel, because her New Orleans accent was very present in the interviews and stuff like that. But on the show, she doesn't lean into that. Did y'all notice that? At the reunion, I was like, oh, wait a minute. She's not speaking with her New Orleans accent. Okay, I see you. Like, I'm not saying that anything's wrong with it. Lisa, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. We appreciate your support. Keela, shimmy for Keela, because Keela sent, I don't know how many super chats. Y'all can tell I can't shake too much right now, because if I shake too much, I might fall over. Thank you, Keela, for the super chat. Keela says, Darius has 2 Super Bowl rings. Never played 1 snap in the Super Bowl. Wait, Keela, are you talking about Steve? He's never played in the Super Bowl? And Darius, did he ever play in a Super Bowl? I know he was on the bench, and even if you're on the bench, you get a ring. So, why are we talking about football? Because y'all brought up Steve. I did not. Lisa, thank you so much for the super chat. Lisa says, Heavenly went to Bravo HR on Simone. Thank you, Lisa, because people forget that element. And then when you think about this to Dr. Jackie, it's like, come on. Heavenly went to Bravo HR on Simone and lied. That could be very damaging to Simone. Unforgivable. And Dr. Jackie ain't nobody's friend. I agree. 100%. Because here's the thing. And Dr. Simone talked about this, and Dr. Jackie, of all people, should know. When it comes to malpractice insurance, there are a couple of things that could have been lost here. Her career, her practice, but also her job. Please understand, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone have been on the show since the beginning. They're probably making a cool $1 million, if not a little bit more. She could have lost all of that. And Dr. Heavenly still has not changed her stance. Luckily, this was on video. And this is why I look at Dr. Heavenly. I was like, you running for public office and you're still leaning into, oh, she did something to me, and you said all the trigger words. You are a Karen. And this alone would be reason for me not to vote for Dr. Heavenly. And I don't care what anyone says. This incident alone that she's leaning into still at this reunion would be reason enough for me not to vote for Dr. Heavenly. Just saying. But that's me. Shadrika, thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the super chats. This will be the last one that I read because I want to get through this episode. Shadrika says, Steven had to do some sort of, he paid for Mimi's practice in cash. I know that's right. Okay. I know that's right. Guys, we're almost at 800 likes. Be sure to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but it supports other channels. Other channels will start to show up in your algorithm. Okay, that talk about Married to Medicine or talk about Housewives or talks about pop culture like we do here on the channel. Today is brought to you by our friends over at Factor. Somewhere between the first warm weekend, which we just had this weekend here in New York, and realizing short season is getting close. I couldn't put on my own shorts just yet. Eating well stops feeling optional. Factor is how I stopped letting a busy schedule be my excuse. Fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. Ready in 2 minutes, no planning and no cooking. Quality functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats, no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. Literally, as I was coming back home, I saw someone got their factor delivery. I was like, I see you. 100 rotating weekly meals keeps things fresh and delicious through winter. Options include high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support, and ready-to-eat salads. Of course, I've gotten you a discount. Head to factormeals.com/Kempire50 off and use code Kempire50 off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. More information on Factor will be available in the description. So it said, not Dr. Karen. You're right. She is a Karen. Okay. Damn, Mr. Magic says that going to HR is wrong, but Simone's reputation has been on the decline after all that yelling, after all the years. Yelling is one thing, though. Being physical, accusing someone of being aggressive, that's a whole other thing. She can be yelling at all she wants, as long as she's not yelling at her patients, as long as it's not going down her medical office. Two Foxy says Simone is childish for unfollowing Dr. Jackie. I hate when I see any of that anyway. She refollowed her after the reunion, so I'm already assuming that they make amends at the reunion. Bravo, y'all need to put this in their contracts that they can't do any of that stuff. And if anything, production should be like, don't follow her back yet. Wait till it airs, then you can follow her back. Because we already know how it ends. Okay. Back to my notes. Look, back to my notes. Where was I? Damn, I need to speed through this. Hold on, y'all. All right. Quad's package. So they play Quad's package. Quad is asked about what's happened with her and King. She's, life happens. She keeps on saying that. Life happens. Girl, you're at a reunion. We need more than life happens. And she says she thought that he was the one. Quad says that the breakup was mutual, because you remember what King said on social media. Why didn't they show that at the reunion? Why didn't they show what he said on social media? Okay? Why didn't Andy bring that up? Because I would have brought it up. I mean, like, on social media, he said he left that situation. All right. So Contessa asked Quad, why isn't King there? And she's like, no, she says to Quad, didn't you want King here? And she's like, I didn't say that, Contessa. She gets very defensive. And I'm like, so apparently Toya has seen King, and by now you guys saw the photos of Toya and Dr. Simone with King. I guess they may have seen him at, a basketball game or something like that. So King apparently told Toya that he wanted to be at the reunion and felt that there was more of the story to tell. Here's the thing. No matter how you feel about King, Quad, you brought this man on the show. He was a part of your storyline. He basically saved your job. Let's be honest. He was there to go up against Dr. Gregory. You were gaslighting him all the way until it got physical between him and Dr. Gregory. So I feel like you could have at least had him come on the reunion and speak his side. But now it feels, and again, I think if you had him come on the reunion, we probably would have had a 3-part reunion, because there could have been more to discuss. Like, what happened? Maybe they could have saved your relationship, but maybe you weren't interested in saving that relationship because it wasn't real. I don't know. That's the word on the street, that it wasn't real. I don't know if I believe that, but I find it very interesting how you're navigating this conversation. You're on a reality show about your life, and you're not even married to medicine. So if you're not going to give us anything, next season, I don't want to see you rolling that wig or washing that wig as a part of your storyline. She says, I don't come up with storylines. She gets real defensive because Andy brings up them talking about this relationship not being real. And she's, I don't create storylines at the top of the season. That's too much anxiety for me. She says that who would spend their money on IVF? But did y'all notice her words? So Quad, did you pay for the IVF, or did King pay for the IVF, or did you both? Because she didn't say we. She said I. She's like, why would I spend that amount of money on IVF? I don't think that she was using IVF as a storyline. I know some people think that. I believe she really wants to have children now. And she probably thought King would be a great sperm donor. And I'm so glad that Dr. Simone said, you can tell me to mind my damn business. I'm glad she didn't. But if you guys couldn't agree on getting married, you couldn't agree on where you would live, why would you go on a journey with someone like that when it comes to IVF? We've been saying that this entire season. Why would you do that? And she was like, he's no longer with his other baby's mother, and they're great co-parents. So in your perspective, was that a smart decision, Quad? Because regardless of him being a good co-parent, is that the way you really want to raise a child? Going into it, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles because of just life relationships. But intentionally going into a situation where the foundation is shaky at best, to me, is not a smart decision. But we've been saying that this entire season. Why would you go on an IVF journey with someone you can't even decide whether or not you're going to live with them? These are foundational things. But you just thought, oh, I want to have a baby with this particular one. If anything, we would be great co-parents. I don't know if that's a smart decision because I don't know if you would be great co-parents. You can't even agree on how the relationship ended. You can't even agree that he should be able to come to the reunion and be able to speak his piece. Y'all couldn't even agree on that. So it may have been a blessing that this did not work out in regards to the IVF journey with him. But when asked about whether or not she was going to continue on this IVF journey, she says she doesn't know what she plans to do. She knows plenty of people that have gone and done it on their own, and they're fine and they're fantastic. But she was like, stay tuned. No, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Not stay tuned. No, get out of here with that. Okay. All right. So then the newbies come out. Brandy and Angel come out. They actually get their own package. Giselle, not the newbies of Married to Medicine, getting their own package. Even they got a package this season and you didn't, Giselle. Let's see if Dr. Jackie gets a package because I would love to see what this package is going to look like. What is it going to look like? It's going to be 2 seconds, this package. And it's probably going to be about the Med Gala. They're probably going to make her package the Med Gala. Girl. So Angel talks about working in the entertainment industry. We already talked about that. So Brandy and Dr. Contessa have a conversation about what went down at Brandy's birthday dinner. And apparently they already had a conversation and they're all good now. Okay. However, Dr. Contessa, she says the reason why she felt the way that she felt was because Heavenly and Brandy were talking about her birthday party before. But you only knew about that until you watched it because they play it back and Brandy didn't say anything negative. It was Dr. Heavenly that said something negative about the birthday party. It was Dr. Heavenly is the root, okay? So Contessa, I very much like everyone else at this reunion, I feel like you guys did not come. Oh, hold on, y'all. Why does that happen when I turn off my notification? My thing's on Do Not Disturb. Okay, Do Not Disturb. Why is that coming through? Lord. All right. I don't understand why Dr. Contessa wasn't. Hold on, y'all. There we go. I don't understand why Dr. Contessa didn't come to this reunion prepared to own that she was wrong. She was fighting for her life during this reunion. I was just like, but I will give it to Brandy that she handled herself really well in regards to it. Like she gave enough energy, she gave enough like what shade in regards to it. Ms. Parker says, better the phone than the wire. But I don't know why it's on Do Not Disturb. I shouldn't be getting phone calls during the live. I don't have a droid. Paige says, Kempire, I got a droid. No, I don't. That's my computer ringing. I don't understand why it was on. All right. Frav, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Frav says, I live in the 13th district. Heavenly is in 5th place. Oh, damn. If you don't watch Bravo, no one's taking her seriously or really know her. Everton Blair School Board Chairman, black gay man, is the front runner. Okay. Ooh. Look. Ooh. Here's the thing, though. The polls are one thing. Make sure you guys go out and vote, because people will say that now, and then when they get into the booth, we don't know what's going to happen. So make sure you guys are doing your due diligence. Thank you so much, Frav, for keeping us updated as well. But that's what Tyrese said when she called in. She says there are plenty of people that are ahead and more qualified than Dr. Heavenly. And Dr. Heavenly is putting out there that, oh, I've got the votes. I don't know about that, Dr. Heavenly. Okay. Autumn, thank you so much for the super chat. Autumn, the diva, says Quad is trying to hide King's response hard because she wants to make it seem like she is a perfect woman, but she is clearly not. Miss No Accountability. That's the vibe that I got, Autumn. That's the vibe that I got. She wants to control the narrative, and that's why she did not want King to be there.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary, but the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe and put you on the fast track to becoming debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Just visit nationaldebtrelief.com. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of five-star reviews and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Let today be the day you start turning things around. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you may qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Patricia said, nothing wrong with a droid. It's eating up apples. A lot of people in our community have Androids. I noticed that from our meet and greets. Okay. A lot of y'all have Androids. I don't judge, but I'm just saying I don't have one. I might get one for my business phone. When it's time for me to get a new phone, I might get an Android. I might. Just okay. Ocean's Dream says, proud Android owner. I wasn't saying that I just don't have one. Okay. See, Judy says Team Samsung. A lot of y'all in the community. I feel like the majority of the community. I'm going to do a poll on our community tab. Droid or Android? Oh, and he's Jamaican? Tyree says Camp Everton Blair. That does sound like a Jamaican name. I should have known. Okay, second. Tyree says Kev Everton Blair also has Jamaican parents. So he's Jamaican. Okay. Oh, wait, Patricia. Y'all know a lot. Hold on. Patricia says, yes, Everton Blair is my pediatrician's son, and he's Jamaican. Why do we know all of this information? I love this for us. So wait, is that the front runner, right? That's gay? Does his parents know? Just saying. Wait a second. See, a lot of y'all have Androids. NYC DMP says, I have a Samsung. Okay, Tanya says, we are digressing, people. Can we focus? We digress all the time, and then people blame me. It's y'all got me on this digression. Okay, at least the Everton Blair of it all. Go vote for Everton Blair, Jamaican. Okay? Just saying. All right. Trinity says, so Jamaican. The Everton Blair, of course. Okay. Kurt says, it does Kempire. Yachty in the house. Yes. All right. I see everybody. All right, y'all. Everyone's telling me what phone they got now. Let me focus because I'm trying. Look, it's almost 4:30. I got to get off of here by 5 o'clock. All right, let's move on because I'm going to. So they talk, Dr. Contessa and Brandy get into it again over the birthday party situation. Brandy points out for an hour, Contessa complained that no one ever threw her a birthday party and blah, blah, blah. And she said, I was supportive of you. And Contessa was just like, you were talking about it with Heavenly. And she's like, I did? And when they play it back, Brandy wasn't the one that talked about it. It was Heavenly. Okay? Contessa says, that she came soft. And Brandy says, yeah, you came soft under your breath. Next time, come loud so that she can address it. Ooh. Bring Brandy back. Brandy was a good addition this year. Honestly, she should have been full-time because I'm sure she's got her own stuff going on. She should be full-time, not Quad. Oh, married to medicine. She should be full-time. What's Quad going to be? She's not even married. Damn. I like Quad. I know y'all probably think I don't. I think she's been great over the years. She's been funny. She has quirky moments. But at this particular point, we've got to start normalizing this show is not the show for you anymore. Okay? Jean says that Contessa tried to spin a narrative once she knew that she was losing the argument. And then she tried to put a bow on it at the end of it. She put a bow on it at the end of it. She said, you know what? We were trying to celebrate you. This should have been a day about you. And then apparently the day they had this, it was Contessa's birthday. So by the end of their conversation, they were like, okay, we're done with it. Someone did ask Angel, if you're an RN, why didn't you know how much lidocaine to take? And that's, you know what? I never thought about that. So I don't know when that story happened. I don't know if it's before she was a nurse or after a nurse, but I was like, that's a good question. And it makes me look at Angel with the side eye. But look, no one's perfect. All right, moving on. Quad just ends up asking Toya about, why did you ask Bernard how Angel was in bed? So they was like insinuating like Toya's interested in Angel in that way. And then Heaven was like, Toya is the one that said she likes women, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I don't get lesbian vibes from or bisexual vibes from Toya. But okay. All right. That was an interesting moment for me. But anyway, okay. Let's get to Mimi's package. Dr. Mimi's package. Mimi talks about being a mom with a special needs child, which for me was a really great addition to the show. And she talks about how everyone has reached out to her and they felt seen from her being on the show. And as I said, I feel like she has been a good addition. I struggled with her this season when she spoke to Brandy the way that she did about Dr. Heavenly. I feel like very much like Dr. Jackie, they placate Dr. Heavenly like she's a little child. Okay. Mimi says that in regards to psychoanalyzing the group, she says it's just something that she does. She said because that's who she is. And she likes to, it's her nature to facilitate healthy conversation. And when she talked about seeing the toxicity in the group and arguing and things like that, I was like, did she know what she signed up for? Because I get it where she's coming from. But at the same time, I don't know if she knows what she signed up for. And Quad says, as a friend group, we don't need to be psychoanalyzed, which I get. But is anyone friends with a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist? Do you feel like they can't turn it off? Or they like to turn it off? So Heavenly and Toya end up fighting in between this conversation. They end up getting into it. But Mimi says in regards to her issues with Toya, she's the reason why she feels like they have not made it on a good foot is because their foundation wasn't good. She says she doesn't know Toya. And Toya decides to lean into that. And she's like, yeah, you're right. You don't know anything about me. So they get into it. And I wish it was less about Toya and Mimi in the situation because I needed a clearer answer as to why Dr. Mimi said what she said to Brandy at Heavenly's political event. Because I was so blindsided by Dr. Mimi taking sides at that particular. I was like, what are you saying? Why are you telling Brandy to be mindful of who she aligned herself with? I was so thrown by that. I was like, who is this person? And I was like, is this the real Mimi? She apologizes to Brandy at the reunion, but they had a conversation already about it and they're all good. But I wish we could have examined that more so than whatever issue between Dr. Mimi and Toya. Because I don't know what that issue is. I don't get it. Even before this situation happened with Brandy, there was this underlying issue between Toya and Dr. Mimi. And I don't know if it's jealousy because there's another doctor on there, someone that's younger. I don't know. But it's giving that because we still have not gotten to the root of why you guys are annoyed at each other. I don't know. But by the end of it, based on what Mimi says in regards to being a mom and of a special needs child, she was like, Mimi, the fact that you're able to be a full-time doctor and deal with a son with special needs, you're amazing. It seems as if they can move forward next season. I can definitely see Dr. Mimi coming back next season. Elise says, I have a couple of psychologists and psychiatrist friends and an ex that never did what Mimi does. Even when you're having a moment, nobody asked you for your unsolicited professional opinion. Here's the thing. I can see that, but I feel like, remember when Mimi first came around, they kept on going to that, and I think they were doing that back then, and she leaned into it, but I think they were doing that because they wanted Dr. Gregory to look crazy. They wanted Dr. Gregory to not look competent, so they kept on going to her as the psychiatrist's opinion. Oh, it's making more sense to me now. Because remember her first season, they were like always asking for her professional opinion. And I think she leaned into that. And now they're turning on her. She's probably now understanding like reality television. They were the ones always asking me for my professional opinion. Now they're gaslighting me about my professional opinion. It makes sense now. Yep. Hey, Angel. Angel says Dr. G is also a psychiatrist. They're human, not above anything else. He never gave psychiatrists to us. He never gave psychiatrists to us, but it's fine. It's fine. Mimi says, Mimi is full of it. You can see Toya's flaws. She definitely sees Heavenly's BS. I just don't understand her constant defending of Heavenly, Dr. Mimi. Just saying. Oh, see, everyone agrees with me about the whole Mimi assessment. Okay, in regards to them leaning into her being a psychiatrist her first season, and then in this season when she leans into it, they're like, girl, stop psychoanalyzing us. But y'all wanted me to. Wait a minute. But that's me. All right. Lee Doc says, psychiatrists are usually cray too. They do say that they have a little bit of a thing. I haven't seen that in Dr. Mimi. We definitely saw it in Dr. Gregory. Set me free. I would never go to that man for therapy. Kurt says, as a psychologist, for me, it's difficult to turn it off. It's something you do daily. I just have to remind myself I am not on the clock. I can imagine. I really can imagine. But can you imagine being on a reality television where they were asking for it constantly before, and then all of a sudden, the second season, when you start offering it, it's like a whole thing. Ooh, Tyrese says, my psychiatrist friends are annoying. Sorry to say. See? So it's a thing. It's a thing. Billy says, love this soundbite. I'm only giving you guys a taste. Maloney Love says, who's Elaine? They're talking about Dr. Heavenly. Lenora says, thank you for that. I can't with y'all. Oh, I can't. All right, let me move on. Let me drop the call-in link quickly because I'm live chat. Damn, it's almost 2,700 of you guys in the building for our Married to Medicine recap. Make sure you're subscribed, okay? Make sure you guys are subscribed. Let me drop the call-in link for those that want to call in and share their thoughts and opinions. Hold on, y'all. Let me go over here. And live chat, I will drop the call-in link. Let's get to 1,000 likes. I probably should. Let's get to 1,200 likes. Let me just do that. Let's get to 1,200 likes, and I'll drop the call-in link for you guys. Okay? All right. Not live chat. Members, I am going to drop the call link for you guys now on the post tab here on YouTube. It's not a part of your membership, but it's a nice little extra. So I just dropped it. Oh, damn. NYC ZFP says psychiatrists are typically nuts, in my opinion. Damn. I thought about, there was a period of time, I was a psychology major in college, okay? There was a time, though, I thought of becoming a psychologist, but then I considered psychiatrist, but then I realized I would have to go to med school, and I was like, oh, do I really want to do that? But then I was like, nah. I'd much rather talk about the housewives and talk about pop culture and stuff like that. Maureen, thank you so much for gifting memberships. We appreciate you. Oh, wait, hold on. Not Maureen. Millie, thank you so much for gifting memberships. And shout out to those of you that were gifted a membership. Be sure to thank Millie for your membership. Exactly. Shadrika says, don't forget to like the video, guys. But if you remember, I just dropped the call link for you guys, okay? All right. Let me get back to my notes because there's a lot to cover here, y'all, in regards to it. All right. So the husbands start arriving. This is where it gets juicy, okay? The husbands arrive, and they all gather in a room, and Steve says that it was never said that he needed to buy a ticket. Remember, at the gala, he ends up buying a ticket, but we talked about this during the season finale. It was cringy, and it was corny. It was so corny, the way that Eugene was acting about a ticket. So corny. And I wish at the reunion that they let us know if more money was raised, if the art was raised any money, because again, doesn't understand. I don't understand. But okay. Cecil says that they need to do a better job at communicating this because Steve says that it was never told to us that we needed to buy a ticket. Okay. Eugene asked why Steve was even there if he was out of the Met Gala. Here's a couple of things. He was there because it's a filmed event. It's the season finale, so he was going to be there regardless. Okay. I don't understand why Steve in that moment says it's a group event. It's the final event. That's why. But also, he says, I wanted to support. We have to remember, even Brandy, who is Toya's friend, said that Toya had not included the newbies, and Mimi's not even a newbie, had not included the ladies in regards to the planning of the event. Okay? So that's why Steve says, I'm not going to be a part of this if you're not going to include my wife. But he said, I'm still going to show up and support. He didn't say it then, but that's what he said in this moment. Okay. And honestly, they probably could have raised a lot more money. Okay. Yeah. I know that's right. Dina says production. He should have said production gave me a call time. That's why I was there. Angela says, I agree with Eugene. He said that he was out. I'm not saying that's not a valid point, but if someone's showing up to a charity event to support and they're telling you that they've been invited by one of the chairs, we all know what Eugene was doing in that moment. He was trying to be petty. He literally said it before the event. He's like, and anyone shows up without a ticket, he said that. Then it gets heated between Dr. Eugene and Steve. Steve says that Eugene justifies bad behavior all the time, every day with Toya. He then says, Dr. Eugene, if you want to be one of the women because you're acting like one. Look, y'all say that all the time about Dr. Eugene, so don't get mad at Steve for clocking it. And here's the thing. We were defending Dr. Eugene a couple of seasons ago. I'm over it because it's like he had a head transplant at the end of the season. I'm not saying he needs to go up against his wife, not at all. But it was like he did a whole 180 after that party. And it was just like, now you're being messy. You don't see any of the other husbands getting involved or being petty when it comes to this whole situation. You're the only one. You're the only one. You could easily just diffuse that situation, but you purposely tried to embarrass Steve and Dr. Mimi at the door on camera because it didn't need to be any of that. You could have easily went to see, oh, sorry, Steve. It probably wasn't communicated to you guys, but the tickets are going to go to the actual scholarship. So please donate. But his energy at the door, he was being corny. He was being so corny. So I wasn't mad at Steve. I wasn't mad at Steve for how he reacted. So Steve says, oh, you want to be one of the women because you acting like one. Okay. I was like, what's going on, guys? It's getting a little heated backstage. Exactly. Miss Parker says Dr. Eugene and Toya worked overtime to try and make us forget about how his wife berated him on camera, but we didn't forget. At least not us over here. Burgundy Ray says, I'm sorry, I can't believe that they didn't know about buying a ticket. That's why they tried to use Dr. Jackie's name to get in. I don't believe that because remember, the venue actually changed 48 hours before. So how are you paying for tickets to an event that doesn't have a location? How does that work? Okay. They probably also didn't think that they needed a ticket to a cast film event. We have to remember this is reality television. They are full-time cast members of this show. Okay. Burgundy Ray says, I'm riding with Eugene. I wish you luck with that. Because Eugene looked like a real punk at this reunion. I was like, are we still leaning into this? Are we still leaning into this? Because we know that this is a reality show. This is not actually a charitable event. Because if this was a charitable event, y'all would have raised more money. Because if this was a charity event, then y'all need to rework this whole situation. Y'all failed. Okay? Okay? All right. Look, Mikey says, Mikey Wait, Mikey Avance says that no, Brandy didn't even know she was supposed to buy a ticket until the morning of the event. Come on. Come on. But it's all right. I don't believe anyone's completely innocent here, because I believe they were trying to set Toya up to fail with this Med Gala. But that whole situation with Dr. Mimi and Steve at the door to buy a ticket after they spent how much money last year? So we know that they got it. So here, Toya and Eugene, here's your $300 to give those kids $5,000. Really? Really? No, y'all corny for that. That was the corniest part of that season finale. But I've moved on. All right. Foxy says they should have bought their tickets. They did buy their tickets. We literally see her paying for the tickets at the event. I think that was corny. I'm not going to make a big deal about tickets if you're at this charity event. I'm like, are you going to donate? Then I would call you corny for not donating. Shersha says they would have donated more than $300. But apparently the ticket sales was what was going to the scholarship. Danielle says, Team LV Steve. OMG. Is that jacket from LV or did he get that made? A Little Bit of Sunshine. I pressed that by accident, A Little Bit of Sunshine. Says, I will always love that soundbite of Kemp yelling, Garcelle! Dina says, people are committed to hating Mimi. I don't hate Mimi. I definitely don't hate Mimi. And y'all see how I've rode the fence. I can see Toya's side of certain situations. I can see Dr. Mimi's side of the situation. I still feel like that whole ticket situation was corny as hell. The Met Gala was a failure in regards to raising scholarship money. Your $10,000 raised versus how much they raised last season. Stop. But you guys wanted a filmed event. That's what it is. That's gross when I think you're trying to actually do something charitable, but you're really not. But that's me. All right, let me move on because there's so much more to talk about, and I'm going to take quick callers. So they do Heavenly's package, and then they play a game on yay or nay when it comes to certain things when it comes to Heavenly. The only thing that stood out to me was when they said, does Heavenly tell the truth of her life? And they all said nay. Really? I thought that was a very interesting thing. Heavenly says that she reveals that her son had a mental health emergency and she contacted Dr. Mimi. I need a timeline because when did he have the mental health emergency? Did it happen when you confronted him about the arrest from 2 years before? And that's why he wasn't at home? So him not being at home, was he not at home? Was he in a mental facility? There's something not completely answered there. And she says it's not her story to tell. Understandable. But I'm not 100% clear. So she says that her son had a mental health emergency. She says that she asked Mimi for help. She says that her son wouldn't be here. She possibly wouldn't be here today if his father wasn't Dr. Damon Daddy. She didn't say it like that, but you get what I'm saying. And then they segue to Dr. Damon talking about there are a lot of people in jail that probably shouldn't be in jail because they have mental health issues. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Laura Niche. I didn't know that. The LV jacket was real, designed by Virgil Abloh. May he rest in peace. Oh, so you just never know, because I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, is that it? I don't think he would wear anything fake, but I thought he was leaning in. Okay. All right. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Leela says, I believe what happened during his arrest is possible motive for the arrest. So meaning that he had a mental health emergency during the arrest. So remember, they said they tried to run over the police officer. I don't know. It just, whatever the way that it was explained just was not clear. It was not clear. Dina says, an Emmy for an actress in a dramatic goes to No Windows in a Bedroom, Heavenly Cons. I cannot. Miss Brooklyn Diamond says, they were making excuses. Something does not line up. If you knew your son has a mental health issue, then why weren't you getting him help all this time? Or were you and this another thing hidden? See, so you understand where I'm confused. So if he had a mental health emergency back when he was arrested a few years ago, Dr. Damon Daddy didn't tell you about that? You had no idea? It doesn't Hence why she probably did not want to be full-time, because then they would have to explain more as to what happened. I don't know. But again, she said that's his personal story. It really is. He's an adult. But the way she's explained it does not make sense to me. It doesn't. But she says she had to, no, but see why it's not lining up? Because she says she had to reach out to Dr. Mimi. Dr. Mimi wasn't on the show when that happened. That incident happened 3 years ago, almost, at this point. So that doesn't make sense. When did this situation happen? I don't know. And look, we're trying to make sense of something that's not going to make sense because we don't have all the details. Cherry Blossom says something's not adding up. The same with Dr. Heavenly. They all said, which is like a perfect segue to the segment, is Dr. Heavenly truthful about her life? And they're like, nay. Point blank, period. But okay. All right. I'm not going to even examine it. You guys can speculate all you want in the comments or in the live time. We can't speculate on something where we don't have all the details. I have to go by what she said in this moment. So I'm moving on. Because I'm not going to continue to speculate on something where it's like, it's not. So I'm moving on. The same way they decided to move on from her being full-time. Okay. Exactly. Millie says we have 10% of the story. But okay, let's move on. Dr. Simone, because Heavenly makes a little snarky remark in regards to she doesn't blast, she doesn't put her family on blast. Dr. Simone seemed to be a little triggered by that. She was like, I just want to say something to you. I don't wake up and decide to put my family on blast. I share my life. I was like, okay. Heavenly says that her problem is that her husband is too good to her. So Dr. Simone's just like, too good. She's me and my husband married because we wanted to marry each other, not because I got pregnant. Oh, I was like, okay. And Heavenly was just like, oh, okay. She did deny it. All right. And then Andy asked the group who would vote for Heavenly. I don't think it matters. None of them live in her district, so it don't even matter. Let's move on. Simone's package. So they do Simone's package. Simone decides to confront Dr. Jackie for standing behind Heavenly even after seeing the footage. You saw the footage multiple times. You watched the Watch What Happens Live particular moment. Even Andy was like, but you've seen the footage by now. And still Dr. Jackie could not find it in her heart to defend her friend of 30 plus years. So there's a lot of back and forth during this scene. I'm not going to go through any of that because you've watched it. Jackie asked Simone, what could she have said? She said, I'm going to be humping the fence when it comes to this situation. But she asked Dr. Simone, what could she have said? Even Andy tries to help Dr. Jackie in this moment. Dr. Jackie has a problem being wrong. She can never be wrong. She says that she doesn't think that Simone would be a physical threat. Heavenly admits, she's like, I'm more of a physical threat. Okay? Jackie says that she was trying to be a good friend to both parties. Girl, you're not being a good friend. You're being a good friend to Dr. Heavenly. You're not being a good friend to Dr. Simone. Because how would your friendship with Heavenly been affected if you said, based off the footage, Dr. Simone did not do anything to Dr. Heavenly? Based off the footage. And if Dr. Heavenly was mad at you, okay. You should be upset with Dr. Heavenly making the accusations that she's made about your friend as a doctor. Dr. Simone in this moment says to you, this could affect my job. This could affect my malpractice. This could affect my job here. All the things, and she's still, during this reunion, Dr. Heavenly is still saying, you hold my arm. They showed it again. She takes your arm off of her. She did not do what you are claiming that she did. And using the trigger words that you're using, you are a Karen. And again, point blank period, I don't care what anyone says, I'm not voting for someone that in today is saying these types of things. You're sitting here talking about black boys getting arrested and being harmed by the police, but they're also being harmed by the police because of people making false accusations. Look, this is my frustration, and I wish someone on that cast would say it. I was like, Toya, you should have said this at the reunion. I know you watch. Toya, you should have said this at the reunion. Maybe you did. Maybe they edited it out. You should have said at the reunion, and this is why I wouldn't vote for her. This is why I want to vote for her. She's talking about false accusations, and she's making a false accusation that we've seen on video, and she's still leaning into it to the point where Dr. Simone's like, you are delusional. Delusional. But the Jamaican is in the lead anyway, and he's a part of our crew. Ooh. Come on, Everton. Let me bring Everton on the channel. Let me bring Everton on the channel. All right. Anything else? Look, we don't get any resolve by the end of part 2 between Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, to the point where Dr. Jackie gets up and sits next to Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone's makeup is falling off. She's really emotional. I can't do this with you. Dr. Simone is done. She's like, I can't. Because even at this particular moment in part 1, Dr. Jackie can't say that she was wrong. She's still making excuses. I don't blame Dr. Simone for feeling the way that she does. I'm never usually team anyone, but I'm team Dr. Simone on this one. And the last time I was team Dr. Simone, I had egg on my face because you saw what happened with her and Cecil. But it's fine. It's fine. All right, let me take these callers. We're going to take some quick calls. Callers, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds, because I got to get off of here by 5 o'clock. All right? I got things to do and people to see. Not really. I got to cook dinner. I got things to do at home. I've been out all day taking care of stuff. All right. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged. All right? Please respect the timer, everyone. All right. Live chat, I will drop the calling for you guys once we get to 1,200 likes, like I said. We have 2,700 plus of you watching. I think that's fair enough. That's less than half. Okay? Queen Rez, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, when Quad said that she was doing it 15 times a day, I knew that relationship wasn't going to work out. Now look at her plus sweet tea. Laughed last. Oh, damn. Thank you for the super chat. AmBZ, thank you for the super chat. Did you hear Brandy say that I wouldn't complain about my 4 kids after Mimi was discussing her experience, her kiddo? I felt a little shade from it. No, I didn't feel shade from that. I think she was, I'm not going to complain about my four kids when I know what she's doing. I didn't take it as that, but you never know. I don't feel like, based on what we've seen of Brandy, I don't think she was trying to be snarky or shady. Because even Dr. Contessa is like, you can complain. Doctor. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you for the super chat. To be honest, Eugene Bush was being messy with Toya. Mimi did give a dog a bone with Toya this year, but I still think Jeannie and Toya were being messy. Jeannie. I can't. You being messy. That's who's being messy. That whole super chat was messy. Bunny, thank you so much for super chat and for being a member. I love the photo. Okay, Purplelicious. Bunny says, question for Kempire. Am I the only one thinking that Toya Mimi ticket issue is really a Dr. Jackie miscommunication? Mimi said that Jackie invited them, so why isn't Jackie part of the conversation? Because Dr. Jackie can never be wrong. You're right. You bring up a valid point. Maybe in part 2, they'll talk more about it. I don't know, but we shall see. All right. We got a long line. All right. Let me bring up Jasmine first. Jasmine, what did you want to share?
Happy Monday, Kemp.
You too.
Okay, I just wanted to share as a football girly. I think personally, Steve is doing very well with that Nike camp. Those camps make a lot of money, especially him being in Georgia. Georgia is a huge football state for youth sports. They get a lot of kids that come in from other states and transfer to Georgia. A lot of kids go through these camps to get recognized by colleges. So they can start getting offer letters as young as freshman in high school. So I think, honestly, yes, Steve may not have been this big football player in his professional career, but I think he might be making more money now than he did then. That's all I want to say.
Okay. Thanks, Jasmine.
Have a good one.
You too. See, I learned so much from you ladies about the football. I love it. All right, let me bring up Keith. Keith, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So first I do want to say that the whole Met Gala situation, I feel like it was completely disorganized. It looked like a last-minute event. And I think they need to do an investigation into Toya and Dr. Eugene's bank account because they must have been stifling some funds. That's probably why they were going so hard on that $300. They had to recoup what they stole, probably, in my opinion.
You're being facetious. Stop.
I'm being allegedly, of course. This is my opinion. It does not reflect Kempire or the views of any endorsers. Okay, but yeah, that's really all. That's really all I gotta say. Oh, and one last thing. I did think everyone looked amazing, but Dr. Heavenly, no shade, but she looked a little stuffed. Like I feel like they should have loosened her dress a little bit more. She didn't look comfortable.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Thanks so much, Keith. Bye. Cynthia's backstage. Cynthia, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Oh, how are you?
Good, good. Can we normalize friendships ending? I think that Simone and Jackie, I think their friendship is over, or she's probably gonna make Jackie choose between her and Heavenly, which I don't think is fair. And in terms of marriages, a cringy moment for me, real quick, Kemp, is I was with my friend and her husband, and my friend was talking about doing stuff with herself, playing with herself, and they got into an argument, so that's really cringy. I just left when that happened.
Oh, yeah. I would too.
That was weird. Have a good one, Kemp.
You too, Cynthia. Miss Brooklyn Diamond's backstage. Miss Brooklyn, what did you want to share? Miss Brooklyn? You're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Hi, everybody. I want to try and make it really quick. One, Toya and Eugene been married for how many years? If they like it, I love it. It's their relationship, and I'm not going to get in between married people. What I will say is that you're constantly hearing Black women complain that Black men don't stand up for them, and yet you have this husband who is standing up for his wife 10 toes down, and people are complaining about it and calling him all kinds of names. Either you want a man that stands by his wife, or you don't want a man that stands by his wife, but you can't have it both ways. Jackie and Simone, that relationship is over. Simone Ben said that relationship was over at the end of this reunion. Jackie is on Heavenly's side, and that's all there is to it. Lastly, and I know I'm over the limit, but I do want Mimi back, if for nothing else, to continue talking about her son with autism. I know how it is. My granddaughter is autistic. Both of them are slightly autistic, but you don't hear about it enough in the Black community. You hear it pushed underneath the rug. You don't hear about people going to get their children the services that they need. And if this is something that pushes people to pay more attention to their children during their developmental years and get them the services, many of which are free, and takes the stigmatism off of these children and allow them to get the help so that they can become more productive members of society and prosper and growth in their own ways, then please keep her on for as long as it takes for that message to get through. Thanks.
Thanks, Ms. Brooklyn. No, I 100% agree with that. All right, Sharice is backstage. We're going to bring Sharice up next. Sharice, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, how are you?
Good. Really quickly, Simone looked, what did they say, written away, put away, hard, whatever. She looked a mess. Makeup was already a mess before she started crying.
Ooh.
I really feel bad for the Simone and Jackie situation because they really were friends. But then if we think about it and we look back on the stuff that we've seen, Jackie's probably still mad about Hilton Head and the fact that when one of Simone's boys graduated, she wasn't invited to the graduation function. So Jackie probably still holding on to a lot. Simone's probably holding on to a lot. So it's best that friendship ends. Dr. Heavenly, that look was too young for her. She didn't even know how to sit in that dress. She had her legs open. She tried to cross her ankles, but you could still see what was going on. That's it. Have a good day.
You too. Y'all got jokes today up in here. Thank you to Miss Beeson Bryant for gifting a membership today. We appreciate your support. Thank you. NYC DMP, thank you so much for super chat. Love lives. I have missed y'all so much. Thank you, NYC DMP. We appreciate you. All right, let me bring up DJ. DJ, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Kevin? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Bye, Jackie. It's finally time. You sitting on the couch doing all that extra stuff with Simone. I've been saying it. She's aged out, and I mean that with all due respect. But at some point, you can't keep up with everybody. Curtis doesn't even want to be there. So bye, Jackie. The whole guy thing and them calling him the B word and all of that, I disagree with that because here's what I like about the Atlanta Black-based shows, and particularly the Black shows. The husbands are ultra involved, and it makes the show entertaining. When I watch all of these other shows and there's no involvement from their family or husbands, it's dull because then you just have 5 women screaming about the same thing over and over again. So I think the husbands bring something to the table that shouldn't just be dismissed based on gender. And finally, I agree with Eugene, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry. I agree with Eugene and Toya that they should have paid because it's, hey, you're coming to an event. And I hope they keep doing the Met Gala. I really love that because it shows that they're giving back to the community and they're serious about their craft.
Are they really, though?
Look, hey, $5,000, $1,000. Some scholarships are as low as $250 I've seen.
No, you're right. You're right.
So,
however, they ain't gonna cover nothing in med school.
Should they need to reorganize it? They need to maybe bring in some help, but keep it going because if you want to do this show, you should highlight the positive of your career, of your profession. So yeah, they need to get it together. Get Toya's hand out of the cookie jar.
Wow. Goodbye, DJ. Y'all keep going. Wait, did she get a new Birkin? Imagine. That'd be terrible. All right, let's bring up Maisha next. Maisha, where you at?
I'm out here delivering mail. How you doing?
I know that's right. Hey, Maisha.
Mondays are horrible at the post office, but I'm not going to waste my time. I just wanted to speak on Jackie. She has a God complex. And I agree with you in the sense of she can't accept accountability. And Simone will hold her accountable, but Heavenly won't. Heavenly thinks Jackie does no wrong. Like I remember that one season, I trust Jackie to do a root canal and just a whole lot of stuff. And it's toxic because Simone's career and all her livelihood, her moneymaker is at risk. I don't blame Simone.
Yeah.
I cut her off at the end of the day. Somebody said earlier, normalized friendships ending. She done burned you once. You went back. Second time, you got to let it go. All right, Kempire, you have a good one, baby.
You too, Maisha. Take care.
All right.
Bye. Guys, don't forget, once we get to 1,200 likes, I'll drop the call link for the general audience. If you're a member of the channel, I've dropped the call and link on the post tab here on YouTube. Shout out to those of you that have sent in Super Chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. I see the Venmos and Cash Apps after the live, so thank you to all those of you. I always love when I go on my Cash App. Oh, I got a little couple of dollars to go get a little coffee or something. I don't drink coffee, but you get what I'm saying. All right.
This is not a drill. Wayfair Spring Cyber Week is here. Right now, get up to 80% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus amazing flash deals. Now is the time to score Cyber Week size deals on all your springtime essentials, like outdoor furniture, storage and organization, and patio picks. Plus, get fast and free shipping on everything right to your door. Shop Wayfair's Spring Cyber Week now through March 23rd and save up to 80% off everything home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Oh, damn. Libra says, I bet the Med Gala paid for the face painting. I can't. Exactly. Greta says, shout out to all our U.S. postal workers. And shout out to our TSA workers. Oh, my gosh. What is going on in this country? What is going on? All right. Let me go back. Okay. I have April Aries backstage. April Aries, it's your season.
Yes. Woo. And my birthday is within a few days. But
Happy
anyways,
birthday.
Thank you. So I feel like Dr. Jackie, aka Groot, I agree. It's time for her to be phased out because she's not taking any.
What did you just call her? What did you call?
Groot. I got it from another YouTuber on here, Color Me Pink. So she called it Groot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because a tree, a twig.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I feel like Toya and Dr. Mimi can move forward because I don't even think Toya knows what the issue is with Dr. Mimi, to be honest. I was like a little bit confused. And I feel like there's something else that I wanted to say. Oh, yes, I'm glad that Dr. Brandy ate up Dr. Contessa because you were wrong. You were shady. Your man is broke and frugal and doesn't know how to show affection. So how dare you come to my birthday and talk shade? Talk to me when your man can afford it. Have a good day, Kempire.
You too, April Aries. Happy birthday. I will give Dr. Jackie one thing, because when Toya tried to shade her for being older in regards to her memory, she was like, what did she say? What was her exact words? Did I write it down? I forgot what she said exactly. I was just like, okay, Dr. Jackie, I see you. She was like, some of us, age looks good on us. And I was like, the way that Dr. Jackie looks at this reunion, I was like, girl, come on. You're right. But that would have been a perfect dig at somebody else because I'm not going to say that Toya looks great too. She's about to be 50 years old. She looks amazing. They all do. All right. Let me move on. Guys, we're almost at 1,200 likes. I'm going to bring up Ashley next. Ashley, what did you want to share? Ashley?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So, yes, I'm an Aries lady as well, so happy birthday to my other Aries, 4-2 in the building.
Okay.
It's our season. But as an Aries woman, Toya does not like Eugene. I'm going to go ahead and say it again. That is how we treat people that we do not like. I didn't like my ex-husband, and that's how I treated him. So she doesn't like that man. And also, I want Dr. Jackie to do what she said she was going to do years ago, which is leave before she lets the show come between her and Dr. Simone. Goodbye. Loved you, but it's time for you to go. And then also, I am so glad Steve put his foot on Dr. Damien's neck, on Dr. Eugene's neck, because you didn't have all of that energy for Dr. Damien when he checked you in Jamaica. So don't have all of the energy for Steve. You want to cuss at him? Keep pointing.
Damn. Thanks, Ashley. Oh, bye. As someone that knows a lot of Aries women, Ashley's right. I know Aries women better than they know themselves. And when Ashley said that, I was like, yeah, that clock's right. Yeah. Mrs. Beeson, thank you so much for all these super chats. She says, yelling out, "We love you, Kempire," in my Whitney Houston voice, saying, "I love you, Bobby. Love you, Bobby. I love your content. Keep it up." Thank you so much, Miss Beeson. You've been very generous today during the live. We appreciate your support. Live chat, I'm going to drop the call and link for you guys in just a second because we have almost 1,200 likes, but we have nearly over 2,500 of you watching on multiple platforms. Shout out to those of you watching on X, Twitch. Apparently, I look even better on Twitch and sound better on Twitch, too. So follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Kempire. And follow us on Facebook. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook, The Kempire on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. I just posted a new photo from my recent photo shoot. So if you missed it, be sure to check that out. Go give it a comment. Danny says, these callers are hilarious. Aren't they? They're real extra today. All right. Shadrika's backstage. We're going to bring wait, there goes Shadrika. Oh, Shadrika, you dropped out. There you go.
Yeah, it's my first time, and I'm sorry if I sound sicky. That's why I'm active in the chat today, because I'm homesick.
Aww.
But I just had to comment on the gala because I just went to my job's gala. I work for a Black charter school. We have a gala where we raise money every year.
Oh.
And this gala just irritated me because this is a little Black charter school. It's not franchised. If we're able to make things happen, then they can. My school sells tables starting at $5,000, so I'm not understanding why they're doing tickets for $150 for a gala of that caliber. Even my church does an end of year gala, and tickets starts at $300 for just to enter regular admission. So the gala part really I had to come and talk about it because I'm like, I just went to a gala and this ain't it. So that's the only thing I had to say. I hope you have a happy Monday, and it was fun hanging with y'all in the chat today.
And I hope you feel better, Shadrika. Thank you for calling in. Shadrika's right. Come on, we've been saying it about the gala. Like, they do it for the show, and I think it's shameful because then you're trying to say that it's charitable, and you have these young ladies come up there and they receive the $5,000. Y'all need to do better. Sorry, I just got to say it. All right, I just dropped the call-in link for the general audience, so now that I'm not getting out of here, it's already 5:06. It's okay. We only got one more part to recap of the Married to Medicine recap. I'm going to bring up Andrea. Andrea, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. I'm so glad I made another live.
Me too. What's going on?
I'm just saying, usually I am such a fan of Eugene because he's always so much more progressive than the other husbands, so I've always loved that. But my thing about this year is they're tacky. Jackie bought a table at a gala. That means anybody she invites doesn't need to buy a ticket. The hope is that they will then make a contribution to whatever the cause is. That's the purpose of a fundraiser. So to make them pay for a ticket on top of being a guest of someone who's already purchased a table is silly and redundant and also low class. Obviously, I don't know about this particular gala. However, that is customary. That is how it works. Why would you spite yourself? So you're going to get $150 per person versus $5,000. So that's all I had to say. That gala just really ticked me off this year, and I usually like Eugene. So,
yeah. Andrea, thank you so much for calling in. Bye. Yeah. And look, and it's not, because I know there'll be the people saying, oh, Jackie did not pay for a table, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. That's what Steve thought. He didn't hear any communication about tickets. So again, it could be just miscommunication, but they got to do better with this gala. They definitely got to do better with this gala. Please. Wait a second. Elise says Dr. Jackie bought tickets and a table. That's just the gala. That's how the gala was set up. So Maybe in part 2 they'll clarify. I don't know. Hey, Virgo Leo. Cap says, I always look forward to your lives and videos, Kempire. You're always the highlight of my day when I need it or when I need a laugh. Thank you so much, Virgo Leo Cap. All right. Let me get to the rest of these calls because now the backstage is full. Okay. Let me bring up Bernice. Bernice, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
Hey, so I just wanted to say quickly about, I think that the show has been on for so long, they really need to start to think about recasting some of the old members, because no matter how many times they keep bringing in new people, it's still always the same story, and I think it gets lost. The medical part of the situations get lost. Now, as far as Dr. Mimi, I'm happy that she did bring information about her son, because I have a 24-year-old daughter that's on the spectrum, and she's doing phenomenal, because the best intervention is early intervention. And if you get and when 20 years ago, they didn't have as many as resources that they do now for children. And my daughter was a girl, so it was more back then, more for boys. So it was even harder for me to get services. But if you advocate for your children, it can be done. And now she's working. She works at a school cafeteria. She has her own bank account. She knows. So the best thing you can do is early intervention, and she can do it. And she doesn't need Toya validation to tell her that she's a good mother. That's all.
Thanks, Bernice. Take care. Yeah, she's 100% right. 100% right. We've definitely come a long way when it comes to our conversations, especially as the Black community, when it comes to folks that have a developmental disability, because it ranges. It ranges too. All right, let me bring up Lovely next. Lovely, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. My thing is, I think they all just getting their karma from how they treated Mariah.
Oh?
And then they just slapping them all back in the face. The thing with Jackie and Simone, I don't think Jackie would ever get over the situation with her and Simone, because Simone took her to that place where her sneaky link was at. And with Mariah, hold on, she did. She took it back to where the sneaky link was at. And people coming for Eugene and Toya. But the thing about it is, without Eugene and Toya on that show, I don't think it would be a show. Even though Heavenly is messy as heck and just wrong at all times. And for Dr. Jackie to take Heavenly word over Simone after you saw it, even if Andy asked you that, girl, you ain't nobody friend. You're another Jackie. You're another Heavenly inside of Jackie body. Because Heavenly say everything that you want her to say. That you want to say, but you want to be this upstanding doctor. That's all I got, Kempire.
Thanks, Lovely. Yeah. Look, yeah. Y'all just making me laugh today, though. I have to say the calls are really cracking me up. All right, let me bring up Ariana next. Ariana, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
How are you?
Good. I really enjoyed this episode. I felt because there's only 2 parts, everything was very fast-paced. Like, they got right into the drama, which I think Housewives could use a bit of, actually a lot of. So this is definitely one of the best reunion episodes that I've seen in a few years, for sure. I think that Jackie and Simone's relationship has run its course. It's very clear. I think if you can explicitly tell someone that they've hurt your feelings and they are not doing right by you, and they can't even acknowledge that or really look within themselves to see why they're doing that, they're not your friend. And then really quickly, I also think Jackie's a bad friend to Heavenly because she's not helping Heavenly be a better person either. So I feel like she's not being a good friend to anybody, for real. So that's all.
Do we think that Dr. Jackie actually is a good friend?
I don't. I really don't. And someone said God complex earlier, and I'm not going to say it's really that, but I definitely think she sees herself as in a higher place than most people, and that's probably why she talks to like Buffy crazy that one time.
Remember what I said during the season finale when she met up with Dr. Simone at her lunch, and she was basically like, "Oh, no one can relate to when we come back. You're not the only person that works in this group."
Yeah, and when someone was saying about Simone's livelihood, that should be Jackie's first priority, and it wasn't.
And she should understand that better than understand that better than anyone.
Exactly.
All
So yeah, she's just bad friend, I think, in general.
Thanks, Ariana. Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. All right. Let me bring up Annie next. Annie, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
So we got to remember that they only tape for 12 weeks, and they threw Toya in to do the Met Gala. She didn't have much time. They had 2 trips, almost back to back. And how much time did she really have to plan this Met Gala? they threw it together last minute. And she was scrambling to get places, and she had to scramble to find people to give that donation to. I don't think she had enough time to find a lot of people to donate the money. I think they're rolling over the money for next year.
Oh, okay. Okay. I hope
Steve only played in the NFL, 6 years with 3 teams?
Oh.
He doing well for himself.
Oh, yeah. Only played for 6 years?
Only played 6 years and didn't get past the pre-game season. He got cut every time. Yeah.
Damn. I love it. Thank you. I don't love that, but I love that you guys know more than me when it comes to stuff. You get me all caught up. Now I feel sports neat stuff. All right. Thanks, Annie. Wow. Damn. All right. Excommunicados, we're going to bring up next. Excommunicado, what's going on?
Yeah. Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
Okay, so quickly, I think the two parts reunion is leaving a lot of things swept under the rug because I really wanted Dr. Mimi to explain the ideology behind Brandy supporting Toya, but we didn't get to actually address that properly. And because that is the main thing that I think a lot of people can understand about her support for Heavenly as opposed to Toya. But on the flip side of it, I can see why, because it's possible that Heavenly was the one who was actually kind to her and Toya was not. Because if you see it from the beginning of the season, Toya had picked on her for even just sitting with a napkin at her house before even now throwing the whole tantrum against her. And Toya never apologized for that and kept just accumulating things all through the season. So you never actually gave me a good experience with you, so I'm going to lean towards the person who actually welcomed me a bit more.
Okay.
That's just a little bit of an understanding, but I feel like the reunion is getting really chopped and a lot of things are not getting addressed properly.
It's going to be a 2-parter, so imagine next week's episode. Thanks, Excommunicado. I will say I could see how people will feel that way. I do feel like we covered a lot in just part 1. But I could also see how people would view that. It feels like we're not addressing things. Can you imagine with the Traders? I was just thinking about this the other day. With Traders, I've been telling you guys, I feel like Traders needs a 2-part so that they can really talk about certain things. But with a 1-part reunion, it feels like nothing gets addressed. But okay. Author Cindy's backstage. Author Cindy, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm going to try to get this out quick. This is my first time getting on your live. I'm so excited. Hey. But 2 points. So Dr. Simone, she keeps trying to play victim. She was the one who started her and Toya came at Heavenly crazy. And then she was mad that Heavenly told Quad what she did. But it's just like, Simone, you can't have it both ways. Because anytime someone says something about Toya, she's running it back. So now you want to be mad that Heavenly's running it back. And then she was like, I'm sorry, from what I saw, she was the most unhinged. I know everybody was yelling, but she was the most unhinged. And then Toya sitting in the front, like in the first chair, like she was doing the absolute most. And it's like, they all want to come after. Heavenly was a friend of the show, but she was on their like main character energy because everybody has something to say about Heavenly. So it's just like, they need to make up their minds.
Okay. Thanks, Cindy. My question is, was Dr. Simone the most unhinged or is she just the loudest? Just something to think about. Is she just the loudest? Okay. She's loud. Okay. All right. Mara is backstage. Mara, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I think Dr. Jackie has the PhD of straddling the fence. And there's this, and I think I might be wrong, but there's a possibility she sees herself as this grandiosity kind of a human being whereby everyone has to be below her or beneath her. This time around, I understand where Simone is coming from because I think her professional was placed on the line. And the one person she counted on to be there for her wasn't. Because if anything, when you're being accused of being aggressive, it borders towards your livelihood being affected.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it hurts so much and she's unable to let it go. As for Toya and hosting and fundraising, she's not the sharpest tool in the field. Next time, I just hope they give it to somebody else.
I hope they do it together. Just do it together, work together, and then we can actually raise money and actually affect something.
And I think they were using this opportunity to teach her a lesson.
Yes, they heavily
Because
admitted that.
in the past, she has totally refused to contribute financially. And they're like, okay, let us see how you're going to handle the situation moving forward. It was some form of punishment, not really punishment, but making her to see the light why you need to contribute when other people are actually hosting the fun, the gala and everything. But I don't think she learned anything, sadly.
Thanks,
I
Mara.
don't think she did. Yeah.
Bye. She said, I don't think she learned it. I think they wanted to see her fail, to be honest with you. Anyone else? Do you think that you wanted her to be, do y'all think that they wanted to see her, wanted to see if she understood how much work it took? Or do you think they wanted her to see her fail? Let me know. All right, let me bring up Mathalia. Are you there? I can't hear you.
Hi,
Oh, there
can
we
you
go.
hear me?
Now I can.
I can hear you.
Uh-oh.
But it's okay. I'm just going to say what I say and be real quick. Hi, Kempire, I'm Taylor. I'm also known as Beyonce de la Ghetto on TikTok, if you remember me. What did I want to say? Oh, yeah. The only way for Simone and Dr. Jackie's friendship to survive this is they're both off the show. Like, take out the cameras. They have to work on it behind the scenes and especially remove heavily. Second of all, I'm going to send with Eugene because if you're telling me hands down that you're not going to come to support me and I'm not even expecting you to show up, then don't give me attitude when I'm asking you to buy tickets, especially when you know the funds are going to go to a good cause. And 3, as a French Canadian, if I see Steve wearing Louis Vuitton one more time, I swear to God, I cannot. I can't. But anyways, that was my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God. I do think it's a little much, but I think he leans into it now even more. And I like Louis Vuitton. Don't get me wrong. I don't like wearing Louis Vuitton everything though. Like the time and place. If I'm going to a concert, maybe I'll put on like a Louis Vuitton. But nah. Yeah. But anyway. All right. Tyler's back. Say, Tyler, what's going on?
Hi.
Are you lit?
Yes, what I will say is I'm not on Simone or Jackie's side, to be honest, because I feel like both of them have done the same thing to each other. Simone was dead wrong when she took them to Hilton Head. She was dead wrong for that. And Jackie moved past that. When Jackie is telling you, I don't like Dr. Jackie, but I get her standpoint, like, I'm not going to publicly side with either one. I will say it behind the scenes, but if I publicly side with either one and we're very close friends, I just don't want to get in the middle of it. And I'm telling you why I didn't. Simone just wants to have an issue because she does not want Jackie to be Heavenly's friend. And that's dead on that. Toya is holding the season down, period, point blank. Toya's holding it down. People could say what they want. Toya's holding it down. I don't agree with Toya and them talking to King actively. This is the second time y'all have done that. Y'all did that with Greg or whatever like that. It's Toya and them do some low down stuff, but I'm waiting on it to be Toya's turn because I think there is some truth in Eugene. The way you treat him, Eugene is definitely looking at other people. It's just that Eugene doesn't look that good for anybody to want to come out and admit to it. All right, thank you.
Goodbye, Tyler. Tyler was doing so good. He was doing so good. All right, let me bring up LaToya next. LaToya, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine's reunion part 1?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can.
It just went out. You can hear. Okay, great. Okay, I'm LaToya Deshawn. This is my first time calling in. I've been following you for about 2 years. You're about the only one that I like watching notifications. But let me get to it. I called because I feel like Mimi and the Toya situation really is triggering for me. I really didn't like the way Mimi minimized the way she supports people just because she's a professional. Back in the day, we didn't have language for things. It was just like, you crazy. Remember, they were like, it was Prozac, and now we have words for it. And so just because she has language around the way people are acting and she holds them accountable, especially to the fact that she won't be disrespected, I feel like the Black community is just really hard on that person who always stands up for themselves. And they become the black sheep in the family. And so Toya is really toxic. She does deflect, she overtalks, and she's dealing with a lot of stuff. But before I go, I think their issue started at the last reunion when Andy asked her to psychoanalyze all of them. And she said, Toya, just heal, you accept yourself, you're all good. And I feel like Toya took that and used that as a reason to actually be resentful towards her because she called her out and she saw her. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much. I love your show.
Thank you, LaToya. Maybe that is it. Okay. All right. The Real House Husband's backstage. Real House Husband, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Kempire? You can hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I love that shirt on you, by the way. Nice color. But real quick, Quad needs to go over to Atlanta with her friend, Phaedra. Sorry, Quad, your luck ran out. And Dr. Mimi and Steve wants to be where Toya and Eugene is. They started with them first last year. I don't know what it is about them. I think that they want the fame and they want to be that number one couple where Toya and Eugene is in this group or whatever. So that's why she keeps trying to pick at her marriage. She's trying to pick at her. And that's why Eugene is working overtime because she said in Carlos' interview or whatever that she wants to be protected. She needs some backup because these women don't see her the same. So that's why he's trying to be that supportive for her.
All right, that's all I have. See you next week.
Thank you. Take care. Guys, just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. But don't forget, you can also listen to us on the Kempire podcast. Go subscribe today if you haven't subscribed. We don't just have these episodes there. We have additional episodes. I was really thinking about doing a special Real Housewives of Miami episode where it's just audio. So, I do that every once in a while. Sometimes I add on to this. If I have different perspectives after the live, I'll add on to some of these episodes as well. It's also a cleaner episode. Sometimes we take some things out as well. So be sure to subscribe to the Kempire podcast today. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the Married to Medicine reunion part 1. There's only one more part. All right, let's get to the rest of our callers. Lay is backstage. Lay, what are you doing? You moving around? Lay, where you?
I'm at
work. What's going on, Lay?
Hey, I'm at work. How are you, Kempire?
Yeah, at work? What you do? Look, I'm all in your business.
I do dreadlock.
Oh, okay. So you're at work?
Chair drag. Yeah.
Nobody's in your chair, though.
She just got up to go to the restroom, so
how dare she?
It's fine. I thought I was backstage with Kempire, so that's what she left at the right time.
Okay.
But I just want to say about Jackie and Simone and Heavenly's relationship, just to add a little insight, this is my own medical evaluation about them. Jackie doesn't have kids, and she always wanted them. Heavenly didn't have a good mother, and she's looking for a mother figure. So I feel like Jackie, the reason that Simone and Jackie's Jackie's relationship can have a moment right now is only because are you gonna pick your friend, your best friend, or your child? And I feel like there's a codependency between Jackie and Heavenly on like a mother-daughter type of situation. I know I'm gone. But a mother-daughter situation.
I can see
and
that.
That's why they have that weird interaction with each other. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. And then also why Simone is, okay, we've been writing with each other for over 30 years, but now all of a sudden Heavenly comes in and it's like this weird tension between us. But what is the mother going to pick, their child or their best friend?
I see.
So I feel like she's on the fence there. So I understand where Jackie's coming from, but she really has to, there's a time to correct your child when they're wrong. If she's going to play the mother role, she needs to go ahead and play the mother role all the way through. That's what I wanted to say my first time on your live, but I'm always on the replay crew, so I'm so happy to be here. I love you to death. Have a good day, but that's it.
Thanks, Lay. Get back to work. Bye.
Bye.
I love it. I love when you guys call in for work. I always forget it's Monday because I'm working all the time. I have to say for the weekend, though, I didn't really do too much, even though I was working on some other stuff. But yeah, shout out to those of you that listen and watch from work. We appreciate you guys. And if you're a part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on Married to Medicine. Our last, but definitely not least caller, Autumn's backstage. Autumn, what did you want to share?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can't hear you at all. But anywho, hi, Kempire, love you. I'm going to make this quick. I'm just going to say, when it comes down to Dr. Simone, she through, hair through, crying tear, makeup, she is through. She's tired with Simone. She doesn't hold Heavenly accountable or anything. Love Dr. Brandy. She needs to stay. Contessa, you see how she tried to hide of her, supposedly was mad about her husband not doing it for her. What else? Quad needs to go. She's not married to medicine. She needs to go. Mimi, she's so soft-spoken. I like her, then I don't at the same time. But Dr. Heavenly, she's getting very irritating on the show. It's very irritating. I don't like it. It's like she's just lighting up the fire and keeps egging on after she's been called out. I just totally don't like it. Who else? Oh, Kempire, I guess. Anywho, Angel, she don't need to stay. It's no point of her staying. I love that she's the RN. She's showing it that she needs to go because we're not here for dating. at all. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep the Married to Medicine. Anywho, anyone else? I can't say out, but anywho, bye. Love you, Kempire. I'll call you next time.
Bye, Autumn. You guys are hilarious. I don't know what's going on with these. Mercury retrograde has a little bit of a shadow period, so who knows? But look, have y'all been keeping count? I haven't froze in how many weeks? Are y'all keeping count? Look, huh? All right, let me say thank you. We had a super chat from Shadrika. Oh, let me shimmy. Shadrika sent $20. Okay. Shadrika says, just to explain, it's a black charter. We don't get much support. I guess you guys had questions in the chat. We don't get much support from the DOE, and Kemp and New York native building in New York ain't cheap. You're right. I didn't realize, Shadrika, I didn't realize this was in New York. It's a K through 12, so it helps to run operations for the year. We raised $250,000 this year. That's amazing. Okay. That's why the tables are $5,000. They're trying to raise money, okay? RC says, great job on not freezing. You know what? I hear the sarcasm in that, okay? You're welcome, Coco. Coco says, at least somebody's appreciative. Coco says, thank you for keeping the live going after 5 p.m. You're the best. At least somebody's appreciative. The rest of y'all, to the hell with y'all. Look. All right. Yes, congratulations, Shadrika, on that. That's amazing. But I feel like very much what Shadrika called in and said, these ladies could do that. You know what I mean? They could raise $250,000. Can you imagine if they raised $250,000 and they split that between those two young ladies, $125,000 for med school? That would have been amazing. And this is not coming as, we think that we feel like, what's the word? That $5,000 is like, how dare you? We just understand medical school is very expensive, and that's not going to go far. And they have the potential to raise a lot more. But we're so busy talking about the drama that we forget that we're trying to raise money for charity. All right. But anyway, Mary says, can you get King on your show? For what reason? I don't feel like he'd be that interesting. Sorry, King. No offense. I think he'd be boring. Y'all don't think? No, we're good. We're good on King. Unless he got something to say, we could talk Potswood the entire time. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. We appreciate you guys. If you would like to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. If you want the Are You Okay merch is now available. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, mugs, coffee mugs, travel mugs. All of that is now available at houseofkempire.com. Or if you go to thekempire.com and click the shop button. All right, go get you your stuff, okay? All right. RC says, yes, but that was done in a year. If they raised 50 to 100,000, that would be excellent. Regardless, they could do better than $10,000. They could definitely do better. Okay. All right. You're right. I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos King's already on King's line or already has asked King. You know how Carlos do. Some of us have standards. Okay. Anyway, all right. I appreciate you all being here. I was so excited that we were able to recap Married to Medicine. The final part of our recaps for Married to Medicine Season 12 will happen next Monday, where part 2, the finale to the reunion will happen. We'll talk more about it then. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. I'll see you in the comment section. All right. Thank you all for being here. Everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you for 1,358 likes. And shout out to those of you watching on Twitch and on Facebook and on X. We appreciate you guys as well. And thank you to everyone that called in as well. Okay? All right. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to kempireradio.com.